Hello, you are listening to Ultra Q, episode 190.
No, it is not. It is 140. 140.
My name is Red. I'm joined by Mel.
People these days don't know how livid Ultraman fans were when Jin Nakayama pulled out the Bolton credit card in Ultraman Kids.
They were so mad about it. I love
Prisma
that.
be like, what killed the dinosaurs?
The Ice Age.
I do enjoy that the Ultraman Kids episode batch this week had Prisma the same week we actually get to talk about Rami.
Yeah.
We're very good at this.
We're good at this. There will theoretically maybe be a Brad.
Yeah. He's got some health stuff. He's going to pick some stuff up from the pharmacy, and he's like, yeah, start without me, and I may drop in halfway through the podcast.
He was in the ER yesterday. I don't know why he feels like he has to do the podcast. It's like Ava once again wheeling Ray in on the hospital bed. Like make her pilot.
This is like when I was like, oh, don't worry, we can definitely record a Golden Kenway podcast at 2 a.m.
Oh, that was crazy. I was up early, like for me, I think, and then I just had to talk you out of it.
Not for my own health, but for the health of the podcast.
For the health of the podcast. I knew that was the angle. Speech 100. So yeah, we watched 3 more episodes of Ultraman Kids, and I think we also
found out that the name of the show is a play on another show's name.
Yeah. So Masako Ikeda died. R.I.P. Masako Ikeda, famous for, let me remind myself, she is in Galaxy Express 999. She's Maytel, who is the...
Oh, shit. Yeah, that's...
The blonde woman.
That's a big role.
the lady woman in Galaxy Express 999. And
she's in the second Shinkalian season.
Yeah. She's Silky Mao in Aura Battler Dunbine.
Oh.
And I was like, oh damn, rip. What else did she do? Went to her Wikipedia page and saw, between being Reika Madame Butterfly Ryuzaki in Aim for the Ace and Maytel in Galaxy Express 999, there is this show called 3,000 Leagues in Search of Mother. Which is it's a masterpiece, world masterpiece theater anime from the 70s, and directed by Isao Takahata. And it is, well, let me have a read of this, loosely based on a small part of the Italian novel Heart. And the plot of the series focuses on Marco, a boy who lives with his family in the harbour city of Genoa, Italy, during a depression period in 1881. Blah, blah, blah. When his beloved mother, Anna Rossi, goes to Argentina to work as a maid to earn money for Marco, when the letters from his mother stop coming after an indication that she is sick, Marco fears the worst for her fate. Since his father is too busy working in his clinic and his older brother Tonio was sent to train as a locomotive driver in Milan, he is the only one free to go search for her. So he goes on an adventure. And I was like, oh, this is a reference. This show is a reference. This is a reference to 3,000 Leagues in Search of Mother.
Yeah. And I think the pun makes more sense in Japanese, where like...
Oh, because they do millions different. They don't say 30 million. They say 3,000 10,000s.
Yes. Like, it's San Zenman.
Yeah.
So, when you look at the Japanese logo, there's a number, Arabic numerals 3,000 followed by the kanji for mon, which is 10,000.
This series was a huge success in the Arab world.
Oh, that's fun.
It was also a huge success in Israel. Less fun.
We can say that's proximity, but
That's, proximity. Anyway, so yeah, sorry, I was like, I was just the wild emotional swing from, oh no, person died, to holy shit, I found a key link. So now we know why the show is called 30 Million Light Years in Search of Mother.
Yeah.
Well,
really, this show is not dissimilar from Space Runaway 80 if you think about it.
no, it is not.
which is funny to say unironically, even though I can't help but say it tongue-in-cheek.
Yeah.
But it is true.
It is true. It is true. It is basically the same format of show, just with a different tone.
Which I guess is why we do have to watch Space Battleship Yamato at some point. Yamato.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's interesting. It's often good.
Good.
There's like a really big episode towards the end that is really good. And then I think the home stretch is like, this is vile.
Yeah. Gonna make the westernized version that's called the Space Battleship Bismarck.
Yeah. I mean, this is the sort of subversive angle of Space Battleship Yamato. It is they're kind of skirting the line between, is this incredibly right wing, or is this poking fun at the idea? Because the Yamato did nothing. And so it's like, is this a show about restoring honor to the Yamato, or is this a show about, like, what if you made an anime where you had to, in order to save the Earth, you had to make a delivery across space, and you named the spaceship after the ship that got stuck in the Suez Canal?
That would be even better. Also, that ship is more heroic than the Bismarck.
That is true.
I need to know, and I won't find out today, if there's like Space Battleship Yamato themed fan art of the Yamato from Kantai Collection.
Oh, absolutely. Definitely.
It has to exist.
I haven't... Let me have a look. What does Yamato look like in the Kantai Collection? I can... Because I'm... Azure Lane and Kantai Collection presumably have, like, loads of crossover in terms of ships they pull, right?
Yeah, it is actually kind of funny the way Azure Lane exists by being the exact same concept.
Exactly the same. Well, for the episodes of Ultraman Kids this week, we start with an episode that I was like, oh, this looks fun, in like the next time from last week. They go to a planet where good and evil are reversed, and I'm like, this is just Star Trek for babies. It's so funny.
Yeah. What makes it even funnier is the only reason the good and evil is reversed because Bao accidentally turned over the evil good switch.
Yeah. He flipped the switch. Dumbass.
It worked out great for him.
Yeah. He taps the big Canagon coin and with his credit card, because he has no respect for cash. Because he spends these 3 episodes bragging about how rich it's funny. The circles I'm in is like, it doesn't occur to me that people brag about being rich.
Yeah.
I'm like, is that not embarrassing? But no. He's like, Gutson is constantly like, oh, don't you know that the boss is a rich kid who grew up in a mansion, so he's better than you. And good and evil gets switched. Ma saves a child. and immediately gets put in prison for it. And he's just like, this has got to be some kind of misunderstanding. I saved a child. It's like, yes, that's a very serious crime. Cart him off to jail. Meanwhile, Baal is shaking down people in shops to be like, you have to lower the price. This is outrageous. How could you charge me that much for peanuts? And then people are applauding him for his evil deeds. And he gets celebrated as a hero. Eventually, after the heroes spend their time trying to fix the coin, first of all, Ma escapes from prison, and then the cop is like, "Oh wow, cool, that's great." Escaping
like,
from prison.
Seth gives a plan. Hey, you just gotta to get out. You just gotta be like a criminal about it, and it'll be cool. Yeah.
So good bit, and they try to flip the coin back, but they can't. And then eventually, Baal visits and is like, "Oh, I tapped my credit card on it and it flipped." And they're like, "Can you do it again?" Pico's like, "Do it again, pretty please." And he's like, "Yeah, sure." And he taps it, flips over, and now everything's back to normal. Good is good and evil is evil. And Baal gets arrested for trying to shake down a shopkeeper.
Oh, he almost gets arrested. He runs back to the ship and it's fine.
Oh, yeah. That's the episode.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess like them deciding that their way to do a kids Ultraman anime is to make it kids Star Trek is fun.
Uh-huh.
Because it is kind of just every episode is
they go to a new planet. Uh-huh. And of course it's anime has its own long history of shows like this. You've referenced Ideon, and also Space Battleship Yamato. Space Battleship Yamato is also one of these.
Yeah, like Gundam and Ideon are very clearly drawing from Yamato.
Yeah.
Though maybe like a critique.
The Ideon episode where the Earth ships appear and they're venting air onto their flags to make them flutter in space. It's so good.
I forgot about that. And then on the flip side, the Macross and Orgus guys also did this. Except they're just doing it because they're nerds for Yamato and Gundam, etc.
Yeah. Everything I've ever heard about Orgus is like, I don't want to watch that.
You just listen to the podcast.
I'll just listen. Yeah, I'll listen to those podcasts.
I feel like they were like kernels of good ideas. They're squandered by like, this being the team that made. I mean, it's not like obviously I like Macross, the original, but those guys were otaku making otaku anime, and
they were going to make something that sucked eventually on a long enough timeline, and the timeline was immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately,
which does mean that we get Macross 7 later instead, which is a much better future.
Macross 7, what a good anime!
It's a good anime.
I've still saved the movie. I should watch that movie. It's only half an hour.
Good. Yeah. And then Encore is also fun, like it's fluff.
And then I don't have to watch Dynamite.
You don't have to watch Dynamite.
Everyone else has watched Dynamite and told me that they wish they hadn't. And I'm like, okay, then I won't.
Yeah, I was told you don't need to watch Dynamite, and then I did, and now I can double say don't watch Dynamite.
There you go. Easy. I have to watch less anime? Okay, good. Life easy.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you, a good way to do that is to watch the Gundam movies instead of the TV show.
Well, hang on. Wait, let's back up. That was a sin.
No, but you understand, I want to get into this series, which means I want to watch as little of it as possible.
Oh, I see the coin is flipped. Your evil is good now.
Exactly.
And, okay, I understand. It's opposite day. It's opposite day on planet Canagon. By the way, this is planet Canagon. There's little Canagons running around.
You ever think about how good a character Athrin Zala is?
We have to stop. There's too many cursed things that can be said. The little Canagons are good. I like them. I like this little Canagon town.
It's fun that it's all it's a shopping bazaar because Canagon money.
Yeah, Canagon's just money. Canagon, that's how it goes.
They worship a big coin, which we do have one of those in Canada. Funny enough,
you have a big coin in Canada.
Yeah, there's a big nickel in Sudbury, which is a big mining town in northern Ontario.
That's like a parody of. That's like cheap parody in a sci-fi novel. Oh, we've got a statue of a big coin.
I mean, listen, there's a lot of things in the US and also Canada that's just like, hey, we built a dumb big thing that's a useless roadside attraction for like two people to come by maybe every once in a while. To pretend it's like a tourist trap. Here you go. Yeah, you can see it.
Let me open this. Let me have a look at this. There you go. It's a big coin. Who's that?
King George the
Sixth.
The
fourth. The fourth?
The sixth.
Oh,
because he was king from 36 to 52, and this was built in 51, so just before Elizabeth.
Oh, I see. I see. Yeah.
I say because I have the Wikipedia page open.
I think I was getting. Oh, Georgius the Sixth. Okay, I see it. Sorry, I was fully seeing like George and then no E and then IV. I was like George the Fourth. There it is. Wow. I don't have any notes from Brad on this episode. But he'll be back at some point. Do you have any trivia for this episode, or are we keeping that light?
I think at some point I decided when watching this there isn't really a point in me doing trivia anymore.
Okay.
Because we did all the main cast, and I'm like, am I going to really get Rookie's voice actor when he speaks for like maybe one line?
Yeah, we're good. Listen, we're 20 minutes in, we've talked about one episode of Ultraman Kids. Yeah.
I will say I did have Ace's voice trivia.
Oh, yeah.
But more importantly, it's Hagamori Ryoko, who, spoilers, will also play the voice of Mother in this show.
I see.
But more importantly, I just wanted to bring this one up as because I thought this was a really funny excerpt from the Ultraman Wiki, which was Ace shows an almost erratic change of character throughout the series. In the first special, he's barely even present. In the second special, he's a shy and timid classmate who's usually defended by Ta. In the 1991 animated series, especially in a flashback, he leaps into a little brawl between Bao, Gutsuna, and Ta. And so I'm like, yes, Hokuto.
Yes. There is no character. There's just whatever anyone wants to write him as this week. This is completely this is complete. You said he experiences some character switches. I was like, oh yes, Ultraman Ace. I had a history as a biker this week. No, you didn't. Shut the fuck up.
I bet
this is also... I hate that man. I fucking...
Yeah. You hate Blaze. You hate Gento complimentary, and you hate Hokuto derogatory.
Absolutely. That's why Blazer hangs. Ace does not.
What was I gonna say? I bet this Ace also wets the bed until he was 9.
Yeah. No, that's the most heroic thing Hokuto ever did. Was he told a kid that he wet the bed until he was 9. That's the nicest thing. That's the only time Hokuto's ever been good. The rest of the time he sucks. Well, should we move on to the second episode?
Yeah.
What the fuck happens in the second episode? I've forgotten.
That was a Prisma episode.
Oh, that is the Prisma episode. Yes, I was getting it mixed up with the other one. The Prisma episode, they find a planet that's really sparkly, and they arrive on it. It's like, that's not really a planet, is it? And it's like this weird crystalline thing, and they land on it and they play around on it. They're like, this is all made of crystal. Pico finds a little gem, and Tar knocks over cracks a flower playing football, soccer, and there immediately starts being earthquakes, and the ground starts splitting open. And so Tar's like, I have fucked this place up. I feel really bad. They all escape to the ship. Tar's feeling really down. And then Pico and Bal both start... Well, Pico starts... her hands start turning to crystal, and then the same starts happening to Bal. Eventually realize...
Bal also turns the door crystal because he leans against it.
Yes. And they're like, okay, the crystal place that we just left is following us.
Yeah, they try and speed up, and it chases after them even faster.
Like the thing from JoJo Part 5. The guy who dies and his stand activates. I don't know how he got hired. I don't know how he figured out what his power was. Was that part 5 or was that part 6? That's part 5. Because it's the plane episode where what's her face gets Spice Girls.
Was it Notorious B.I.G. was the stand?
Yeah, Notorious B.I.G.
And they just drop in the ocean.
Yeah. It becomes the Kraken. The next bit is the gang realizes that Pico and Bal took the little gem. That's what's actually the problem here, not the fact that Tar Nocto smashed a flower. And so they determine, okay, as people are turning to crystal, let's return this crystal to what is clearly some kind of living crystal planet that we have taken a part of that we shouldn't have. Ma returns the crystal, and through the crystal, Pico expresses her apology. And the planet accepts the apology and is like, okay, I won't kill you all now. You can have this crystal necklace for Pico. And they go on. Yeah, because she's girl. The planet also girl. And everyone goes on, goes their separate ways, happily ever after.
The real land of the Lustrous.
True. I like this episode.
Yeah.
Little, because it's got that fundamental little sci-fi thing of the planet is like an alien. It's like it can't speak to us, and so we've wronged it.
Yeah.
I haven't read Stellaris. What's it called? Is it Stellaris? Solaris.
Solaris, yeah.
So yeah, Stellaris is a Paradox video game.
Yes.
I haven't read Solaris, but I know this is the thing with Solaris, right? Is the planet's kind of alive.
Yes. And yeah, that is the deal with that book.
So I'm like this little.
It's also the deal with Guardians of the Galaxy too.
Oh, fuck. There's a real swing in terms of quality. Oh, let's go. One of the worst James Gunn movies ever. That's saying something. Versus what's his face, Tarkovsky.
Yeah.
Andrei Tarkovsky. That's it. Crazy matchup. And now we got Ultraman Kids thrown in the mix. I like this show's sort of execution of sci-fi show, but for tiny children. It's obviously like I'm not the target audience, but I think it's doing a good job of it.
Yeah, it's like, like it's doing things that in an adult show would like make us think, and like obviously it's not doing that for us, but like if you're the target audience, maybe it is making you think a little bit.
Yeah. I
want to see this really grody picture of Telestone I got recommended on the Ultraman Wiki.
Oh my god.
This is apparently the condition of a suit in the late 60s, early 70s.
Oh. How I feel at 11 a.m. the next morning after I've told a bunch of people the day before. Yeah, I don't really get hangovers. Well. Damn. Do we have anything else to say about this episode?
No.
Nah. Alright. Third episode. It's the friendship episode.
Yeah.
The gang are landing on a... First of all, Bal is constantly bragging about being rich and living in a mansion. The gang all land on this planet that's mostly desert, but Bal sees a castle in the distance, and he's like, I'm going there right now. He goes in there, he gets menaced by some guys with spears, and then gets thrown into the dungeon. Ma, Ta, and Sev are then like, okay, we're going to go find him, Bal and Gutson. They get menaced by the people with spears. They get dropped into the dungeon. At this point, Pico and Pigako and Midori team up with a little guy called something. I didn't get his name. He's a little dinosaur guy.
Yeah, let me see. Sabarin.
Sabarin. It was probably a kaiju, I don't remember.
Yeah, it's a Sabotender, the cactus kaiju from Ace.
Oh. Hang on, let me look up Sabotender. Because...
He's one they launched into space because they were like, oh, we can't blow it up.
Uh-huh. I think this is a weak adaptation of this kaiju.
A little bit, yeah.
This kaiju is so cool. This cactus kaiju. This little dinosaur guy has horns that kind of go like that stick out like spines a little bit, but the fact that he's supposed to be a cactus not really communicated to me.
Yeah.
IMO. That's why they're in the desert. Oh man.
I like the
Ultraman
painterly
Kids.
aspect of the environment in this episode.
Yeah.
Cool,
I think
cool
the suns in the like two suns, the binary sun stuff, Star Wars style. I think it's good. It looks good. It looks great.
No, I like Tatooine. A planet that is of no importance whatsoever, which is why everyone keeps going there in the extended universe.
Yeah. I like the Tuine suffix because there's Tatooine, there's also Dantooine.
I actually hate it.
You hate it? Okay.
Yeah, when I found out there was a planet called Dantooine, I was like so mad. I'm like, this is stupid. and then I found out the planet was actually in the original Star Wars and not in like an extended universe thing. And
no,
I'm
it's
like,
not. It's real.
I still feel this way. I'm still annoyed by it, but I can't complain the same way, knowing that it's
It's always been that. I'm glad we stumbled across this nerve.
I only found out I had this nerve when I listened to the KOTOR seasons.
Yeah, and they were talking about Dantooine all the time. You're like, are they mispronouncing Tatooine? No, different planet.
They call me Dan.
Tween. Dan 2. That's when Moroboshi Dan gets mean.
Personal.
Yeah. Anyway, teams up with Sabarin. They go into the castle, and they break. Pico breaks the rest of the gang out with a rope in the trapdoor, and they're all like offering to protect each other from the guards and stuff, and the big lord who's in the suit of armor. And eventually the big lord in the suit of armor is like, I can't take this. This is what friends are. I can't take this. I can't. And takes off all the armor, and it's Sabarin. And he's been raised since birth to become the protector of this castle. And that means he has no friends, and he
only eats pills.
In an incredible scene. I love the scene of him eating the pill with a knife and fork in his big castle.
In his big armor, too.
In his full armor. It's good. And then they're like, oh, Sabarin, it's you. And he's like, I've never had friends. And they're like, it's like,
alive.
He's alive. We're talking about Sabarin getting friends.
Oh, yeah. I felt like an idiot. I didn't realize that he was the guy in the armor until they revealed it. And I was like, I should have known.
Oh, you're the target audience.
I am.
Tell us, Brad, what do you think of the first 2 episodes that we went through?
Well, first, should we time.is-sync?
Oh, fuck. Right, yes. Let's do another time.is-sync. Oh, no, we can do one at the end. It's fine.
Okay, all right. The first 2 episodes of this batch. Damn, I can't believe they had to do a women can't resist taking sparkly objects episode. And King Ball Proletariat Hero?
Proletariat Hero? Oh, well, because he's...
Shakes down shopkeeper, smashes business windows, wins
you know
over the
what?
people's hearts.
You know what? He is defeating the petty bourgeoisie.
Yeah.
I hadn't considered this. I was just like, I was like, this is Star Trek for babies. They've visited a planet where good and evil are opposites.
Now, had I have been here for our opening episode, zingers, as I call them.
Welcome, Brad.
Yes, I was gonna say, it's pretty sick that we're watching a show inspired by Space Runaway Ideon and also Evangelion this season.
Yes.
We're in a Tomino ship. We have the whole cast together in one vessel. And we're going planet to planet, each one with its own gimmick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to actually talk about this independently.
Yes, we did touch on the Ideon Yamato-ness.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So yeah, can you have a quick rundown of your thoughts on episode 6 and 7?
Which? Oh, like the
Kanagon and Prisma.
Who, like, as in the who made them?
Well, that too, but also your thoughts.
Yeah, like, I guess my overall thoughts on the show in terms of, like, I think it's all right for, like, a thing for little kids. I think some of these episodes in general, I'm just like, last week I feel like was worse than this week.
Yes,
this may have also
definitely.
been because I was in immense pain, so I was half paying attention. But
no, I'm happy to confirm. Last week I was like,
yeah, okay. That one about the fucker who's just hungry and sad because he has no friends or whatever the fuck that was about, I was like falling asleep. I thought the first episode was kind of fun. I think the second episode is like, I don't think there's enough there to be as long as the second episode is.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way, to be honest. But
I think the idea of you took something that you probably shouldn't take as a keepsake, and like you're disturbing the natural habitat is like kind of a fun kid show lesson. And I do like how they kind of make it as like this is like an organ of the planet that like you took its like left elbow.
Yeah.
It needs that. I think that's kind of fun. But
yeah. Well, we're here talking about the third episode.
Iron Mask.
Iron Mask. I've already forgiven Baal and Gutson. I would also revealed this is Sabotender from Ace, and I immediately looked up Sabotender from Ultraman Ace, and immediately slightly mad at the show for not actually committing to making this a cactus guy.
Yeah.
Look at this kaiju. Why is Sabarin just a little dinosaur with spines?
Yeah, because this is too hard to draw and make cute.
Not
really. You just need to change the hideous face with like a smiley face.
There are cute cactus Pokemon.
There are cute cactus in Final Fantasy, literally just called Sabotender.
True. What's the cactus Pokemon? Oh yeah, this fucker.
There's Cacnea, but there's also Macarena or whatever.
I'm trying to remember the cactus Digimon.
I love that guy. He's got the punching gloves. Yeah, Maractus.
Togemon. He punches on that little guitar sting just before the chorus kicks in proper.
Yeah, check out Maractus.
I'll check out. Let me have a look at this. Oh, this is a fun Pokemon.
Yeah.
This must be a newer one. I don't recognize it.
That's Gen 5.
Oh, okay. That is newer to me.
Oh, well, guess what? It's 10 years old.
Well, who's the fucking the green haired Toho woman?
Sinai.
Sai.
Listen, Gen 4 was where I tapped out on. That was the last one I bought at release.
The
unfortunate thing is Gen 5 is better than 4.
I can believe that. I played Gen 5 at some point, but like I was kind of in a phase where I was like, I just have accepted I don't think these games are for me.
Yeah. So, Sabarin is told by Ma and Co, who are, they're like, your guards here, they could be your friends. And Sabarin turns around and is like, guys, instead of being a boss and like employees, why don't we just be friends instead? Which is in the real life that's a nightmare to hear, but in anime worlds this is cute.
If I'm one of these guards, I'm talking to my buddies after this, like, so we still get insurance, right?
Well, we're more like a family, really.
Oh, so that's that, like Bruce Lee and Alfred.
Yeah. Did you say Bruce Lee?
No, I said Bruce Wayne.
Oh, I heard Bruce Lee. I'm just picturing Bruce Lee Batman.
Or alternately, Bruce Lee just independently has a friendship with Alfred that's completely divorced from Batman. I believe it.
Stuff. Alfred gets up to some shit.
You know what? Bruce Lee's not actually that far from Batman because he's in the Green Hornet, isn't he? He's the sidekick in Green Hornet.
Yeah. Called Kato because all Asian people look the same.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Listener, I was being sarcastic.
Yeah.
If you need clarifying.
Yeah. So then, all the guards take off their clothes and they're all standing on stilts. They're just the little dinosaur guys too.
The stilts was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, like these little guys.
Yeah.
And they leave the planet. And well, first of all, Sabarin is like, Ma, my mum and dad, they're dead. So like I feel some of your pain. I hope you can find your mum. And he's like, thanks, man. And they all leave. The end. That's the episode. It's sort of fun.
Yeah.
I like Sabarin. I like the little cute guy, and he's got a sad backstory. There you go. Easy.
Yeah. Brad, what do you think of the painterly backgrounds in this episode?
Oh, I loved them, actually. I loved all, like, It reminds me of that one Blood Plus opening that goes way harder than the rest of the show.
Oh my god. That's a crazy connection to make.
Well, every time I see, like, that, like, colored pencil, like, roughs, like, very colorful, like, sketchiness, like, I'm thinking about that.
Yeah. Well, do we have anything more to say about this episode, or do we want to do note stuff?
Does Brad have your trivia?
Yeah, what little of it I could fucking scrounge up, because nobody on the show has made anything except for porn, apparently.
That's crazy.
When I couldn't make it to the fucking episode last week, I was like, oh, it is kind of funny that I am making it someone else's problem to have to read these words into a microphone.
I would like to say, first of all, I think you unintentionally set up a bit like a trap for me, because one of the earlier directors or something worked on Dirty Pair, and I was like, I should really watch Dirty Pair, and then in the list of pornography, you just put Dirty Pair in the middle of it, and I had to be like, that's not hentai. I know it sounds like hentai.
I personally need to know what's going on in Horny and Happy Ping Ping Ping.
Ping Ping Ping. What does that mean?
Ping, ping.
What do the pigs mean? Who can know? So here's the thing.
It's about robots.
True. I have the directors here. So for episodes 6 through 8, in order, Naka Hiroko, Mie Hirano, and Tahao Shimura. Which Tahao Shimura is the guy we talked about who did the first 4 episodes. So we've touched on him. But Mie Hirano and Naka Hiroko, I found like basically nothing for, and both of them are frustrating because there are people born post 2000s who are like athletes or otherwise involved in stuff that like the internet keeps going, oh, did you mean this person?
Yeah, I definitely had that a couple times myself.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, well, definitely not. I think Naka Hiroko had worked previously on like other like nonfiction educational like preschooler like programs, which like it makes sense if you're hiring for a kid show, like you get those people, right? But like nothing, like these people barely have any online presence. And then for the directors, I have Ken Shintani, Akinori Orai, who again we covered in the first batch. Or actually it would have been the last batch. And then Masashi Osaki, who, again, I didn't find anything on. This is maybe, of all of, like, because a lot of what I go base off of to, like, start my process is the Japanese wiki pages always have, like, a big table where it's like, oh, here's the episode, here's, like, when it broadcast, and then here's, like, you know, scriptwriter, director, like, all that stuff. And this is maybe the least amount of blue links I've seen from, like, any of these tables on one of these shows. So I have a feeling the trivia is going to be a little sparse this season.
That's fine, because I have less sparse trivia on my... Well, honestly, more sparse than you expect. To be honest.
All right. Wow. Is that the Ultraman Kids this week?
I think so.
Yeah.
Cool. Clocking in at 45.
Okay.
Yeah. It's all right.
It's watchable, and like, you know, if you're a kid, it's probably pretty cool, to be honest.
Yeah. Clocking in at 45 minutes on my end, so consistent. It
is impossible for us to go shorter because we keep coming up with bullshit to say.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this podcast is Tangent City. It is what it is. No, I don't have a good segue. I was trying to find something. I was trying to connect cities. I was like, there's a city that's under attack. It's called Tokyo 3. It's not, no, it's bad. Mel, Evangelion.
Yeah. first of all, I want to say, one, I think on hindsight, there's a bit of Ultra influence in the OP animation style.
Okay.
With more stylization, like the way it's like the silhouettes on the weird backgrounds. Obvious. Also, I feel like I can no longer point out when a Jisojiism happens in the show, because I'm like, there's just one of these every episode now. He's just always doing this. The entire show is just this. Which does mean more people should just watch the Jisoji stuff if they know about it.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, I'm stupid. I forgot to actually make the document to send the summaries. Give me a second.
That's alright. I can edit this out. Oh, Brad. Maybe I won't edit this out. Brad, this came up briefly in the Discord, but we did identify that this show's title is a reference to a Masterpiece Theater anime.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I looked at that in my own time. I was like, oh yeah, that's probably where they got that from.
Good old Isao Takahata Masterpiece Theater anime.
Mm-hmm.
One of the
This and Turn A Gundam, the disciples of Masterpiece Theater.
Yeah. You weren't on any of the Golden Kamuy podcasts, so you don't know that Soshi Haim is just a direct pull from True Grit, the movie.
Oh.
It's crazy. The True Grit is about like this short brown hair young woman, young or girl, who working on a farm and is like no nonsense attitude trying to accomplish a goal. And at one point she just has a Soshi fit. She just has like the pink dress or something, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is Soshi Haim.
That's funny.
Okay, let me grab these. One of the things that helps with like reading summaries is I always turn this stuff into Comic Sans, which is like an extremely readable font. Just revealing that cursed knowledge that every word you hear
it is
in a
funny how many like
podcast.
90s early 3D games use Comic Sans as their font.
So I'm just revealing some cursed knowledge to any listener. Anytime I've ever said a word of summary into a microphone that you've heard, I've been reading it in Comic Sans. In case you're the type of person that gets frustrated by that, I'm glad you know.
Yeah. So just assume that Red sounds like Sans Undertale in real life. Ignore that you have heard their voice for several hours.
Yeah. Episode 6 of Neon Genesis Evangelion is called Showdown in Tokyo 3, aka Ray Part 2. After getting blasted in the gut, Unit 1 gets dragged back in immediately, and an unconscious Shinji has to be taken in for medical care. Meanwhile, the Nerve crew do some tests on their new geometric foe and figure out, oh, this is a tough one. It can set up a barrier that is impenetrable to most forms of attack and will immediately blast anything that it detects in its range. Even worse, the Angel is currently drilling down into Nerve HQ and will breach Nerve's own defenses in about 10 hours. Never fear, Misato has a plan. A really big sniper rifle to hit the Angel from outside its range. Step 1, get approval from Gendo. Okay, got it. But Misato, Ritsuko says, our guns don't have the range for that. Step 2, use the power of paperwork to forcefully borrow the JSDF's prototype giant sniper rifle from them, with some help from Ray and Unit 0. But Captain, her subordinate Makoto says, our tests say we need 180 million kilowatts to make the shot we need. Where will we get all that? That's simple, Misato replies. Step 3, get all the electricity in Japan. She's so cool. Alright, with that settled away and all the infrastructure set up, the operation is good to go that night, so long as they have a pilot. Shinji fortunately wakes up just in time, but he is unsurprisingly once again having doubts about doing all this when Rei comes in to brief him on the operation while he's still in his hospital bed. After briefly turning around the harem hijinks on him when she gives him his new pilot suit, her assertion that, okay, fine, I'll do it, brings him back on board. This is just as well, since Shinji's higher sync rate with Unit 1 will give him the precision needed for him to make the shot. Unit 0, meanwhile, is still not 100% combat ready, so Rey has to play tank with a shield made out of a space shuttle. As the two pilots ready to sortie, Shinji worries about dying and wonders how Rey can be as locked in as she is. Rey replies that being a pilot is all she has, but also that he shouldn't worry, she will protect him. At midnight, the operation is a go, as the gun is powered up while we see the end of Gunbuster played in reverse. Shinji makes a shot at the same time as the Angel, which results in the both of them reenacting the movie Wanted as their respective shots curve around each other. This means Shinji has missed, while the Nerve Operations base takes heavy damage. The Angel ends up having a faster reload speed than Shinji, who is then saved at the last second by Rey as Unit 0 takes the brunt of the blast for him. With this, Shinji is able to make the shot and kill the Angel before scrambling to pry Rey out of her now significantly more melted robot, not unlike his dad did in last episode. As Shinji cries in relief upon seeing her safe inside her cockpit, he admonishes her for her earlier fatalistic words. Rey, who is also neurodivergent and a minor, explains she doesn't know the best thing to say in this situation. Shinji responds with what would normally be a really bad pickup line, but works in this case, try smiling. Rey sees a bit of Gendo in his son at that moment, and does indeed smile. That's the episode. It's one of the big Ava episodes.
It's a big one.
I'm happy I came back for, like, the fucking episode.
Yeah. It's like the event of the first
opening first stretch.
Show. I guess it makes sense that like this is the episode that they cap off the first rebuild with.
Yes.
Oh, 100%.
Yes. Although, as we've explained, their Ramiel sucks in the movie.
What if we made it like a fucking warpy?
What if we George Lucas it?
Yeah.
How you feel about this episode?
Ray shot first. Oh, it's good. It's just good. Like it's like locked in operations mode, like a kaiju show, like an Ultraman show, but also like it's got some humor in it with the way that like Misato girl bosses her way around. Mm-hmm. There's a really good bit when they commandeer the sniper rifle from the JSDF. And then she's like, "Yeah. Anyway, we'll make sure to give it back to you in as good condition as possible, Rey." And then Rey lifts the roof off the warehouse. And then, like, and Makoto says the thing where, like, "How we got the power?" And she says, "From all of Japan, of course." And then in that moment, Rey lifts the gun up as the final beat of that scene. Is really good.
I don't know who to credit for this. Whether it's coming from like any. Like if it's a general vibe across the show at the time, like or if this is like some specific writer having similar gripes to us. I feel like this show does a lot of the like there is a crew and also the Ultra much better than the Ultraman we've watched.
Yeah, I think part of it is just because in this show because the Ultra is the robot run by the crew, as opposed to being like, he is secretly a member of the crew who goes off and solves the problem and has to pretend he was just, I wasn't deserting, but I was, doing something. I was off screen those bushes, and so like them actually integrating the Evas into their strategy because they control Ultraman basically. Rather than being like a rogue agent who just happens to be always on their side because he's technically working for them but in secret. And obviously we have like Earth Garon and Blazer, but like he's more of a sidekick. But like that's probably like the closest thing we've gotten in the actual Ultraman stuff.
Yeah, I definitely say the Blazer crew is the best we've had, the best like total crew we've had.
Yeah, I think so.
That fucking nighttime fight.
Yeah, I think it was in this scene where like they're giving the debrief at night and we're getting all the different silhouettes and angles. And I'm like, okay, this is just gonna be a Jisoji thing every episode. I just it's crazy.
There's such a variety of action as well. Like this whole action scene just being Shinji shoots 2 shots and Rey blocks 1 shot, and that's it.
Yeah.
it's good shit.
Yeah, I think I saw like in part of my trivia they mentioned like they had some budget issues this early on already, and so they were like use a lot of still shots because they now we have to animate 2 Evangelions now, so now we have to do lots of still shots and it works still.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's a classic for a reason. It's a good one. We get a bit more of Rey and her mysteriousness.
Who could she be?
Who could she be? Good question.
30 million light years.
Oh,
Something I was kind of thinking about. Excuse me, my throat's growing. I was thinking about this kind of in the gap between last time I was on this podcast and now. I feel like maybe like Ava's first half that is more of the episodic stuff. Actually, even maybe the second half where he gets a little weirder with it. I feel like maybe there was a concentrated effort to sacrifice a little bit of like the investigation feeling that a lot of the times the shows we've watched kind of fall into, where it's like, oh, there's a mystery here. And instead what they're kind of opting for more is like a punchier, more action, like here's the plan, like almost like a heist movie approach of like more direct, like forward action.
Right, you've got like instead of having
this is going to be an insane comparison that I cannot talk to my head.
Okay.
But in the realm of Kaiju Law and Order, Ultraman focuses on the law and Evangelion focuses on the order.
Thank you, Mel. That was an insane comparison, but it does make sense. What I was gonna say was like the actual, so the way they do that, I'm realizing this now. The way they do that is with they have the crew in the room yelling things. All the investigation comes across is when one of those characters turns to the rest of the room and yells some nonsense science stuff, and everyone's like, "Oh no!"
The gate of guff, etc.
Yeah, and so that's where all the investigation happens, with like nonsense science getting yelled out, and now you can do the rest of the episode.
And maybe some of that is just because Subaraya is like, we can't actually spend too much money doing a lot of fight scenes, so instead just have some guys going around trying to figure stuff out.
I see.
On the ground.
Yeah.
What if the show was like the exact same, but they replaced Ritsuko with Ichinotani?
Ritsuko and Ichinotani would I don't want to know what would happen if you put them in the same room.
I think they would die at like Sachiel.
Uh-huh.
He'd be like, I think you should bomb it again. No one's tried bombing it the second time.
He would be all over the angel shit. Like, you know how he took to that, like, the goggles alien stuff in the movie?
Immediately.
I'll never forget him just being like, make it go underground, it should blow up. And then it just does that.
Yeah.
It hit the volcanic layer.
It hit the volcanic layer.
I'm like, damn, Doctor, that's kind of fucked up. He's like, yeah. You're right.
But yeah, I think it's definitely an interesting contrast. I do have to wonder if the medium has something to do with it, but also just, I think they had more creative freedom to do what they want, and apparently what they want to do is tactics.
Yeah.
Kensuke maybe being a creative avatar for all of Gainax.
Uh-huh. He's the exact kind of nerd that they are. He
would make the Ideon, like, ship's wings, flags flap unironically.
Yeah. Anything else to say about this episode?
Just, well done. It's nice to have the bonding between Shinji and Rei. It is weird to think about because, like, I know the direction Rei stuff goes, while also being like, when does that go down? At what points?
Ray's an interesting character that I'm still to this day forming an opinion on.
Yeah.
I have a lot of fondness. Ray might be my favorite Eva character, actually.
I do like... I especially like... I like the ending of Ava Rebuild 2, where...
Yeah.
Brief spoilers, skip ahead, 15 seconds or something, when he ends the world so that he can tell Ray, hey, thank you for helping me with my dad.
I think that movie's ending might be the height of all of it, this franchise. I like it a lot.
Yeah,
it's really
Rebuild
good.
2 and 3, in my opinion, are pretty good. I was definitely one of the people who, when Rebuild 3 came out, I was a hater because, oh man, they were going to remake the series, and they set up all this stuff in 2, and now they threw out the window for this dumb thing, and then I rewatched it a couple years ago, and I was like, actually, taking it on its own terms is a pretty good thing.
I remember Rebuild 3 being at the point where I was like, I think I'm kind of over this. And specifically, it's a part where Shinji and Karu are going down an elevator, and they see a bunch of, dead Evas. And Shinji's like, Karu, what are those? And Karu looks at the screen and goes, failures of infinity. And I went, okay.
I mean, that is also there, but also that is not, the heart of the movie.
No.
I say, as we increasingly talk about a thing that's extremely far in the future of this franchise.
Uh-huh.
Do
you want to know about episode 7?
Yeah. I did write the summary, but...
I'm just taking credit for it again.
Yeah.
The works of
man. I guess Brad doesn't know about it, so,
AKA a human work. Things are looking alright for... Oh, go for it.
Not to be confused with the ending of Gundam X.
No. That's different. Things are looking alright.
Oh wait, I forgot to do the fucking trivia for episode 6. I'm stupid.
Oh, go. Okay. I assumed that you were happy you were going to skip it. Go for it.
Director Hiroyuki Ishido, storyboard Masayuki, writer Akio Satsugawa, and as usual, Anno for every episode going forward as co-writer.
Uh-huh.
Voice actors, we have Kozo Fuyutsuki, the Gendo's right-hand man, played by Motomu Kiyokawa.
Yeah.
Apparently, he started his long collaboration with Anno as a guy called Gargoyle in Nadia Secret of the Blue Water. Apparently, Anno was like, hey, you played some Monsters of the Week in Go Ranger, which I thought was cool. So you'd be perfect with his role.
Okay.
And then he was also the narrator in Karakano. However, he also apparently voiced Ultraman King in episode 39 of Ultraman Leo.
Okay.
And even more importantly, I think, he voices Tem-Ray in the original Gundam.
Oh, that's good.
Fighting game fans will note he plays Valkenheim R. Helsing in BlazBlue. And then he also plays Wei Wang, the butler, in Cardcaptor Sakura.
There's a butler in Cardcaptor Sakura?
He's related to Xiaolong and Mei Ling.
Maybe I met him. Anyway.
Also, this is for us, kind of, you and me, Red. He voices the random assassin guy, Yoichiro, who shows up for 2 chapters of Golden Kamuy that Hijikata fights.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Then we have Misato's subordinate, Makoto Hyoga, played by Hiroyuki. Plays Michelle Ninorich in Oi the S-Team, who I forgot existed because I don't care about Oi the S-Team. He plays Clotho Boer in Gundam Seed.
Okay. Could you spell that name for me?
Clotho.
He's one of the human.
Yeah, he's one of the sicko guys.
Sickos, right. Yes.
Human computers, or whatever the fuck they call them.
Uh-huh.
He plays Yoshitora in Samurai Showdown, and he also plays Prince Dios in Utena.
Cool.
EVA Unit 0 is once again designed by Ikoto Yamashita, just like Unit 1. Ramiel, apparently, the decision to make geometry angel may have partially been budgetary reasons because you don't got to animate shit. But also it appears like it's also reference to the mech Super X from the 1983 series Future Police Urashiman. Like, here's a screenshot of
him. Okay. Well, yes. True.
From Wikipedia, Ramiel is a fallen Watcher angel. He's mentioned in Chapter 6 of the Apocryphal Book of Enoch as one of the 19 Watchers that sinned or rebelled against God by mating with human women and creating offspring called Niflheim. He's sometimes conflated with the angel Ramiel, described below, who is separately named as a holy angel in some versions of Chapter 2 of the Book of Enoch, who is in turn sometimes conflated with the angel Jeremiah, Jeremiel. As for that Ramiel/Jeremiel, they are the Archangel of Hope and credited with 2 tasks. He's responsible for divine visions, and he guides the souls of the faithful to heaven. And also, this was the funniest see also page on that Angel's wiki page.
Okay. See also, list of angels in theology. Tu Baruch, Azazel, Ramiel, DC Comics, Ramiel, Tales of Symphonia. Nice.
I have said this before, but because Ano felt stuck after taking 6 months to write the first episode of Eva, he started working on this 2-parter before he even started working on episode 3. Also, apparently, the name of this operation, Operation Yamashita, that originates from the Battle of the Operation Yashima originates from the Battle of Yashima, fought during the Genpei War. According to the legend, the samurai warrior Nasu no Yoichi rode his horse, riding his horse, shot an arrow through the water and hit a red fan of an enemy, resolving the battle in favor of the Minamoto clan, and so that's sort of like the reference they're going for historically.
I see. I googled Makoto Evangelion to make sure I was thinking of the right guy. I found art of Makoto from Persona 5 in the Rei plug suit.
Oh, that's fun.
So there you go. That's the internet's the internet's still there. It's still happening.
Yeah, it is.
Well, the next episode.
Did we touch on the maybe this happened the first part of the 2-parter, the Return of Ultraman episode, which clearly.
Yes,
yeah,
we did.
Yeah,
we did touch on it. This is absolutely a Prisma thing.
Yeah,
I am curious if there's any other monsters of the week showing up that will be that overtly direct, because I think that's by far the standout, right?
Right.
Yeah,
definitely. I'm trying to think. It's tricky to remember all the.
We'll see when we get to them.
We'll see.
Yeah.
The thing is, the angels generally have like such a unifying aesthetic, except for when there's like a couple that are really different. Anyway, episode 7 is called The Works of Man, aka A Human Work. Things are looking all right for Shinji right now. He has good friends in Kensuke and Toji, and he has a pretty good relationship with Misato at home, even if her sloppiness annoys him to no end. She even comes to school for a parent-teachers meeting, though she might be showing off too much, again, to his annoyance. Still, there are other things that keep nagging at him. For instance, what even is an Evangelion, and what is up with that fluid-filled cockpit that feels so comforting despite smelling like blood? This reminds me of the... Do you know the tweet of the person who watched Evangelion with their mum?
No.
Yeah, I think you talked about it.
I don't know. I haven't talked. This is the tweet was I sat down and watched Evangelion with my mother, and when he was in the LCL in the thing, she was like, "Oh, like a womb."
I definitely heard of this before. Yeah.
To top it off, he finds out the world-changing calamity, Second Impact, was not caused by a meteor, as he once thought, but rather due to humanity's encounter with the first angel going awry when it exploded for some reason. Thus, he comes to understand that his mission in fighting the angels is to prevent a third impact. I have bad news. Meanwhile, political machinations are underway where Shinji can't see. where, with his head in the manual trying to figure things out, Shinji can scarcely hear his nerve colleagues discussing their budget issues when trying to repair Unit Zero and clean up the last Angel's corpse. They've even had to call for an Evangelion unit from Germany to help give them support in the meantime. Wonder if anything will come of that. Gendo is working to secure a bigger budget for Nerve from the UN, but secretly has an as-of-yet unnamed agent behind the scenes, wonder who that is, helping push his agenda along as Nerve faces opposition as public pressure calls for more resources towards disaster relief. There is also the matter of Jet Alone, a new giant robot model produced by private interests and shown off at a conference in Old Tokyo attended by Misato and Ritsuko. When Ritsuko questions the viability of a nuclear-powered remote control mecha for melee combat, the presenter counters, with a dash of misogyny, that the Evangelion unit track record of going berserk, traumatizing their pilots, and having a 5-minute battery aren't exactly reliable either. You know, it is interesting going back and realizing that this person is calling the Evangelions hysterical women.
Yes. I'm like, damn, dude, that's crazy.
The conference attendees boldly assert that while Nerve and the Evangelion project has been able to get this far with government interference, this won't last long as their failures mount and scientists inevitably find a way for their new robots to counter the Angel's AT field on their own. I can't speak right now for some reason. When Jet Alone is activated for a test run, it seems pretty promising at first. Unfortunately, both the mech and its reactor quickly run out of control. While the project backers plan to basically weather the storm, Misato decides to act independently, clearance be damned, and has Shinji and Unit 1 sent over to help stop the runaway robot. The plan, Shinji, is to place Misato on Jet Alone's back so that she can enter the override password manually while he holds it back from reaching a populated area. Despite Shinji's reservations for Misato's safety, the plan goes underway and Misato is able to enter the giant robot. However, when she tries to enter the override password Hope, she finds that the robot's programming has been altered by someone. With little in the way of options or time left, Misato tries to manually push the control rods back in, and from the outside it appears to work as the rods reinsert at the last minute and the day is saved. Misato, however, can't bring herself to celebrate as she realizes that rather than being a miracle, the whole situation was in fact a work of highly orchestrated sabotage. On an unrelated note, Ritsuko reports to Gendo that evening that their sabotage plan was a complete success, and I'm sure Nerve's budget will be safe too. Anyway, the next day, it's back to Shinji's normal, everyday life as he complains to his friends about how sloppy Misato is around the house. Toji and Kensuke take a moment to pause their fawning over her to assure Shinji that if Misato is comfortable showing that side of her around him, then that means they really are a family. Shinji goes, "Oh!" and then feels pretty good about that. That's the episode.
Yeah. Another good episode.
Yeah.
I feel like this one maybe gets overlooked a lot because it isn't an Angel episode. And also it's between two more significant episodes, but...
Yes. This is the episode I was referencing last week where I was like, talking about the Misato-Shinji relationship. Misato and Shinji.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. Like the rule of threes they do in this episode where like they have her like really sloppy and drunk at the start. The first morning, the third morning, the second morning she's like locked in because she goes to the conference, and the third morning she's back to being her old self again. And this is of course the delightful source of the really annoyed while holding his coffee Shinji shot.
Yes.
And of course various things of like, Misato parking in a really cool way at school and then flashing a V sign to the students.
Yes. This is also the source of many of the shots from the fucking the Misato edit to Beef Flow Mix. I like cash and heads my ass. So yeah.
I mean, she's flexing this episode.
Yeah.
In different ways than in the previous episode.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if I have
honestly,
opinions
all
about
three of these episodes are good Misato episodes.
Yeah. I wonder if I have an opinion about this giant robot. Let me have a look at Jet Alone.
Oh, Jet Alone's a banger.
I love Jet Alone. He's so cool.
Oh man,
I
these
bet
rods
Child
are so
Me-
cool.
Yeah, I feel like Child Me was like, I say child as if I wasn't 17, but I guess that's still a child.
That's a child.
Yeah.
Is Jet Alone's name an
baby.
Aragorn kicked the helmet for nerds?
I
Well,
don't
what
know
sense?
Jet Alone. I don't know this.
Oh, so Jet Alone is... Jet Alone's name comes from a combination of Red Alone and Jet Jaguar
Okay.
being combined into one.
I didn't know
I see.
about the Red Alone part, despite trying to write for my trivia. So thank you for actually improving my trivia before I got there. So
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Oh, I love that the fucking the grill looks.
To be
like
honest,
teeth.
I feel like when people talk about Evangelion, Ultraman's influence on Evangelion, it kind of feels like a Aragorn kick the helmet moment. The way they talk about it without actually knowing anything about it.
Yeah. There's a lot of people who don't know which bits of Evangelion come from what.
Yeah.
I think
it's
a
like
lot
one
of
of those
people
things-
assume it's the crosses, and it
Yeah.
isn't entirely that. That's
Yeah,
very
I mean-
limited.
I mean, that's like a surface level element, but there's a lot more under the surface, obviously.
Yeah.
As we know.
And there's also, like, because Anno is also, like, he's not just an Ultraman fan, he is a direct fan of the Thunderbirds, etc. There is a lot
Yeah.
here that is not actually filtered through Ultraman. He's getting it direct from the source.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, I like to... Because Anno is a nerd who should be put in a locker for playing with toys, I will tease Evangelion for being an Ultraman fanfiction. But the actual answer is that he likes a lot of other things, and he synthesizes them into something different, which makes it unique. Which is, how art works. So
I was about to say, I feel like this is, especially by the 90s, we are well into the era of, like, that generation grew up on all this shit, and they're mixing and matching as they see fit. I mean, Gundam Wing, same time, arguably also much less successful. I'm taking all the shit I loved as a kid and mixing it into
Yeah.
because that's also like a team-based thing, but with the big robots and the, like, it's, yeah, we're fully there by, like, mid-90s.
Brave is in full swing, which is just super robot, like, reminiscing.
yeah, is that, but it's also like specifically a spiritual successor to Transformers because they couldn't
Yes.
get the rights to it for various reasons.
Yeah.
Which is its own interesting thing because it was like a parallel sister series to Transformers, and they just didn't have the legs as actual Transformers.
Is that the reason why Brave shit, like, never comes over here, it feels like? Is there, like, a weird rights issue?
I have no idea. It's like weird because it was a collaboration between Sunrise and Takara Tomy, or actually I think Takara and Tomy did not merge yet, and so there was another sister series to the Brave series that was by Tomy or whatever. I don't know. It's a whole confusing mess. But I think either way, I think at this point Bandai might just own Brave because that's why they're able to get the RG Geiger.
I watched the first episode of X Kaiser. That car is so cool.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, this is a cool episode. Some more Jisoji silhouette shots as Unit 1 races to stop it.
Yeah.
It's fun having, Masada go inside the robot. That's cool.
I don't have much else to say about this one. But it's good.
Yeah, I do feel weirdly guilty if, like, the Eva episode talk is, like, shorter than the kids episode talk, but also it's not like we're talking about the kids episodes as
the
much.
show just good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes he doesn't need to speak for itself.
You've still got You've still got at least 9 minutes until we have eclipsed the kids talk.
I guess I'll chime in to say I like the inner politicking reveal. That's
Yeah, we get a lot more of the stuff, the bureaucracy stuff, which I think we wanted to see more of in Ultraman.
Yeah, we do. Unfortunately, we do see it sometimes. It's just not always got it.
good.
Yeah. We need a Section 9 versus,
we should do something like that. I'm like, oh, you know, Matt, you're wasting all their budget and you can't even stop a kaiju, you know, etc. etc.
Anyway, do you have any trivia?
Yeah. Director Keiichi Sugiyama, writer Yoji Enokido, plus I know, of course. Not much on Enokido, other than he's done a script work for a bunch of shows like Sailor Moon, Utena, Razafron, Oran High School Host Club, Nodame Cantabile, Star Driver, and G-Cux. And also, apparently, he wrote the Fooly Cooly novelizations.
There are Fooly
They
Cooly
made
novelizations?
novels?
Yeah.
Why?
That
I mean, I think
anime
these
is
are-
a music video.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's so
Does it come with a
weird.
CD?
Yeah, I was about to say.
Oh.
That's great. That's the most bizarre format in which to consume. Imagine reading Fooly Cooly and immediately being like, wait, this is dog
It
shit.
seems... Okay, Evie Wiki was useless on this part. Apparently the reason he wrote the novelization because he also wrote Fooly Cooly.
Okay. He just wrote Fooly Cooly for real. Okay.
Okay, let me just check. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I must have just missed Fooly Cooly, but yeah.
Fooly Cooly the novel. That's so weird. Well, continue.
Yeah. Beyond that, storyboard Sugiyama plus Ano. Jet Lone, Brad already got where the name came from. It's not entirely clear who designed it. I asked in the Scanline Media server, Dylan / Low Poly Robot of Mechanisa and G, who may have designed it, and they said probably Ano and definitely not Ikato Yamashita. So.
Okay.
That's all I got, really. Jet Alone is a
All
nifty
right.
robot, but no one's taking credit for it.
Yeah. Alrighty. Any last words on Jet Alone before Asuka arrives in Evangelion?
The for anyone wondering where the fuck the name Red Alone came from, because I also needed to look this up, because I don't actually like Jet Jaguar. I remember obviously because guy. Red Alone was the name. So Jet Jaguar is the product of one of those. Hey children, send us your like character designs, and then we'll like make it into the real thing.
That's never good.
And when Jet Jaguar was made, the original name for it was Red Alone, but then they changed it to Jet Jaguar when they made the actual thing, even though it won the contest.
Look at this awful, grim, dark, realistic Jet Jaguar.
Oh, that is terrible. You should see the Jet Jaguar in Godzilla Singular Point.
Okay, hang on. Jet Jaguar, Godzilla, Singular Point. I'm looking this up. Oh yeah, what is this guy?
He's I have that dude on my team in Super Robot Wars. He rules.
Yes, it's really fun. I love
This
it.
guy's so cute.
Shout outs to Chibi JJ, as they call him in Chibi Godzilla. He's just a cop everyone hates in that.
Nice. All right. Okay. I got this last summary here. Summary. The title. Episode title for episode 8. Asuka arrives in Japan, aka Asuka strikes. It's a bright Sunday afternoon as Misato takes the boys out on a day trip to the Pacific Ocean on board a naval fleet. Kensuke, of course, is over the moon getting to see all this retro pre-impact military stuff in person, but it turns out that for everyone else, this is going to be an unpleasant day. For starters, there's a new girl. It's Asuka Langley Soryu, the pilot of the German Evangelion Unit 2, which is being transported by this very fleet. Upon initial introductions, she dismisses her fellow pilot Shinji as being unimpressive after first subjecting Toji and Kensuke to physical violence, as one does when harem antics occur. Next, the captain of this fleet is very transparent about the fact he does not care for these kids on board, and that his proud naval operation is reduced to mailing some dumb giant robot across the world. Misato, for her part, tries her best to maintain her professional politeness, which will not last. Especially once, lastly, we meet Asuka's chaperone, Ryoji Kaji, who is Misato's way too forward ex-boyfriend. The fact that Kaji praises Shinji's record as a pilot doesn't exactly help Shinji endear himself to Asuka, who is both rather proud and extremely crushing on Kaji. Asuka decides to show off her sick robot to Shinji and declares that while Unit 0 and 1 were prototypes, Unit 2 is the first real Evangelion. Of course, Asuka has had no combat experience, which means that when an angel starts attacking the fleet, could it be after Unit 2? She is quick to jump at the Asuka voice. I can't do the Asuka voice. Oh, yes, I can. It's the chance.
Yeah.
I remember. The prideful naval officers try to prove themselves by firing on the Angel with their conventional weapons, which of course does not work. Misato's smug teasing doesn't help. Meanwhile, Asuka drags Shinji with her into Unit 2 to prove her own worth, and she even provided a spare girl's pilot suit for him. How nice. And activates the Ava unit on her own without telling anyone. But to Misato's delight, as she continues her jurisdictional jousting match on the bridge. Since Unit 2 is currently unplugged, it only has 1 minute of battery. Don't worry, I was very meticulous about measuring this in the color time section. Thank you, Mal. With which to hop from ship to ship so that Asuka can plug herself in and confront the Angel properly. The Angel, a big fuck-off whale this time, bursts out of the water and drags Unit 2 down into the depths below. All this time, Kaji, who is actually Gendo's agent from the previous episode, complains to his boss about this being an unplanned workplace risk. Gendo assures him that Unit 2 and Shinji are there as contingencies for this very reason, but also that he should get out of there on his own if he needs to. After all, he has an important package to deliver. Kaji takes him up on this, much to Misato's chagrin, as Unit 2 dangles helplessly in the water and gets chomped on by the Angel. Misato realizes that the reason this wasn't a good day is because she wasn't fishing, and manages to convince the captain of her new plan. Reel in the Evangelion, and then stuff the Angel's maw with a pair of battleships so that they can fire on full blast at its core. This plan, of course, requires the two Ava pilots to successfully force the Angel's jaws open while it is currently clamped down on them. After some mild bickering between the two, though mostly one-sided on Asuka's part, the two are able to push with enough force in sync for the plan to succeed. With the Angel dead, Unit 2 delivered to Japan, and some exciting combat data of Shinji and Asuka's sync ratios obtained, Misato can finally take it easy. As for where Kaji is, he's back at Gendo's office delivering what the Angel was really after, the key of the living embryo of the first human, Adam. The next day at school, the three boys complain about how much yesterday sucked, but hey, at least they never have to worry about dealing with Asuka again. Unfortunately for them, they don't know their main characters in an anime and are unpleasantly surprised to see Asuka rock up and introduce herself as the new transfer student to the class. And they play her fucking stupid cowboy music. Asuka has arrived.
Yep.
She's cool.
Definitely feels like in some ways Jet Alone gets like sidelined by being in between the Ramiel and Asuka's introduction episode, but yeah. This is a good batch. This is a strong batch this week.
Whenever I'm thinking about Unit 2, I'm either thinking of the end of Ava sequence, or I'm thinking about the ship jumping because it's so fucking cool.
It's very cool.
In the fucking cloak.
Yeah.
The big tarpaulin cloak.
I know that Shinji in the Asuka plug suit was a very important moment for several people that I know.
Yes.
Of course. Makes sense.
Yeah. The fucking the ship jumping is really cool. Ava Unit 2's intro is great.
Yeah.
Do we have any between the three of us? Because I personally, I feel like they're so close that like I don't really have a strong preference. I know some people are absolute shooters for specific Eva units.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
I think I purely on color scheme, I think I like one, but
I love the one. I love the one color scheme.
One is really strong. I do feel like Zero is just kind of a bit weaker than the other ones, but it's only a half a step down, really.
I think I like how weirdly basic it looks because of like who pilots it mostly.
Right.
Yeah.
Like there's something fun mech there. Yeah. Like it has GM energy a little bit.
I do have an opinion on, I think Rebuild Unit 1 has too much green, right?
I don't know if
it's got an extra band of green on it that I'm like, I think this is a step too far.
Oh, you're right, on the waist here.
Yeah.
I do like in the movies how at night the green like kind of glows. I've always thought that was kind of a neat look. But I don't think I ever realized this before. But yeah, I don't think that extra green does it any favors.
I love Unit 2's big like 4-eye head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unit 2 Ava.
Asuka being like, actually, this is the first real Evangelion. It's pretty funny.
So this was this was the episode when we were talking about how the Rey scene is like in episode 5 or whatever is like an attempt at like subverting harem antics. And then, but with a pinch of salt, because like the way Asuka gets introduced is like gust of wind, entire dress blows up.
Yes.
And which is just like, there's nothing clever being done here. This is we're just shoving the camera up her.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, please relax. They will not relax. They will be decades from now. They will not relax about Asuka.
No,
I definitely think
as
go ahead.
Rebuild 2 shows us.
Yeah, Rebuild 2 is the most illegal Evangelion movie ever made. It's also the best one. But I don't know if these are related. I don't think they're related.
I do think one of my big takeaways that when I did the Netflix Ava rewatch was I really do not like any of the Asuka Kaji stuff at all. Like, and that was just something I, watching as a kid, did not really even really give that much of a second thought to.
Mm-hmm.
Of like, oh, girl has crush on old guy, like sure, whatever.
Yeah.
Then watching it as a adult, I was like, ugh.
Yeah, I have to see
awful.
how it goes, because obviously, like, adults, the kids having a crush on adult is like, relatively normal.
Mm-hmm.
In the grand scheme of things, but like there's obviously ways to do it bad, which we shall see how it goes.
Yeah, Utena, I do not expect this to be.
I still gotta fucking
which is
watch
not
that.
was not a crush, but
that is a show that I have heard discussed so much from different people and avenues in my life that I'm very curious when I watch it for myself what's going to be like the thing that blindsides me, Like what's the puzzle piece I haven't been made aware of yet?
That's a good question.
It might be the second arc.
I don't know shit about any of the arcs, let me tell you.
It might be.
Well,
you
see, he's an Ultraman
stuff,
and he has power by imagination.
I have been in Discord calls where I'm awkwardly in the corner while two people argue about the ending. But I don't
okay.
That's crazy.
That's fun. That's funny.
This is just what it is to be friends with nerds.
I don't know why I picked Utena as because no one has. That's nowhere near the same situation. Anyway. Yeah.
I don't remember what this angel looks like. I'm gonna look it up.
It's a fucking whale thing that also has a satchel skull on its face. Not on its face, but it's just on its body somewhere.
A whale.
Oh, yeah.
Whale.
Well, the Ava Wiki thankfully points out that it's matching in size to Iowa-class battleships.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I guess
the same
to
kind
be
of
fair,
nerds.
To be fair,
Kensuke
those
voice.
are probably the ones that are on screen. So
Yeah.
Kensuke voice.
Oh, yeah, the USS Wisconsin is an Iowa-class battleship. It all comes back to Wisconsin.
I'm always saying this.
I've been on that ship once. Because it's like parked somewhere and you can like take a tour.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think it's, the ship set piece is really cool, and the thing they should do more of. What thing that is didn't mention in the summary is it's cool that they get dunked into the water, and underneath is just like city ruins with like a street and buildings and stuff.
Yeah. How much have they explained the world flooding stuff?
I think they explain it like I haven't really mentioned in the summaries, but like they explain it. The second impact is explained as a meteor hits Antarctica.
Okay,
and
so
that
you
causes
could draw that conclusion. Yeah,
yeah, and then the reveal that actually it's just an explosion happened in Antarctica still explains the flooding. Though also the Earth's axis tilt, which also fucking stuff.
Yeah.
I think Red was typing. Did they die?
No, I didn't. I was
Okay.
executing a joke.
Oh. Well, okay. Okay. Well,
Sorry, Kansai Collection came up earlier. We were talking about Yamato. I was just pointing out this is the whale is the same size as Iowa. The ship class. Well,
yeah.
Is there anything more to say about Evangelion episode 8? Other than trivia stuff.
I mean, it's it's a fun episode. It's fun getting the different characters bouncing each other. Also, really good Misato faces this episode.
Yes, when she's like pressed against the glass or something, interrupting the captain. And just
also,
generally being pissed off that Kaji is here.
There's her being smug, taunting like, it seems like an angel, and then finally when Kaji leaves and she's just like, when Kaji leaves in a jet plane, she like thinks he's gonna like do something, but she's like, nah, I'm bouncing. So yeah, it's good.
Let me tell you, I'm excited for next week because if I'm remembering right, there's some fucking bangers in there.
Well, I'm sure you can guess what the next episode is.
See, the thing is that there's 2 episodes I know are coming up, but I don't remember what order they happen in.
Oh right, Asuka's in the picture now. We're getting the dance at the team up episode.
Yeah. I'm thinking of that one and Magma Diver.
Oh yeah,
which is also one of my favorite episodes of the show. I would say I like that one a lot.
Man. Wow. Trivia.
Yeah. Director Kazuya Tsurumaki, writer Yoji Inokido and Ano, storyboard Shinji Higuchi, who we know already. He's involved with the Ultra series as a special effects guy on The Man Who Made Ultraman and a storyboarder for Ultra the movie. He also did storyboard and special effects work for The Man Who Want to Be Ultraman and Ultraman Powered. And he will go on to be special effects director for the Heisei Gammon trilogy and the director of both Shin Ultraman and the 2006 Japan Sinks movie.
Okay.
Voice actors. We got Asuka Langley Soryu, which I think is a funny name.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought it was a funny thing. Voiced by Yuko Miyamura. Plays a character I don't know, Kazuya Toyama from Detective Conan. I haven't met her yet. But more importantly, she voices Chun-Li in Street Fighter.
Oh, okay.
And Luxine from Kingdom Hearts.
Okay.
Then we have a bigger name who we are familiar with already at this point. Ryoji Kachi, played by Koichi Yamadera, He played all the male voices in that one animated Ultraman versus Jackal short. But more importantly, dub voice of Lloyd Wilder from Ultraman Great.
Very good.
But of course, his big name stuff. He's Spike Spiegel. He's Tokusa from Ghost in the Shell. He's the current voice of Zenigata, etc., etc.
He's also a character called Kazu Ida he's the Japanese guy in the 5 pilot team in Rooster Teeth animation Genlock.
Oh. Also, he's the dub voice of Donkey from Shrek.
Yo!
Okay.
Just imagining Togusa voice coming out of Donkey's mouth is really funny.
Togusa and Donkey being the same guy, makes sense to me.
That's so true. Togusa.
Shrek would be better if Togusa was there.
Most things would be better if Togusa was there. Imagine if you replaced Kaji and Ava wholesale with Togusa.
Donkey, you almost executed King Farquaad.
God.
I didn't have time to I didn't have time to draw this, but this is the part where Shrek and Donkey got into armor off screen.
I still haven't finished that manga.
Other than that, once again, EVA Unit 2, designed by Ikoto Yamashita. Here's the draft designs for both 0 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, these are so different.
Yeah.
This feels like from a completely different show. That's wild.
Look at these shoulder spikes.
Definitely more in line with the one Sachiel draft drawing I sent you guys in the first episode.
These feel like a show where they'd be going to space. I'm happy they went away from this because I feel like these are a lot less unique looking to me.
Yeah. But also I kind of want these to exist as a different thing, but also the Evas we got are a lot more iconic.
Yeah. The Ava look is so distinctive from
do I have to make myself do I have to make an Eva sorter? Maybe I should.
You should just do it yourself.
A bit.
That would be funny.
Yeah.
There's a lot of effort for a bit. I give you permission to not do it. But, by all means.
I'll think about it.
You should put Pen on there if you do, though.
Yes.
You know what? I should do that. I forgot that I should do it. Now I have to do the sorter just put Pen on it.
Uh-huh.
Then we have Gagiel, designed by Mahiro Maeda. Apparently in the Sachiel was originally planned to be the angel fought at sea, but this was changed and Sachiel was made the antagonist episode 1 and 2 instead. Put a pin in that. Anyway, according to the wiki, the name Gagiel, also called Dagiel, or a bunch of other weird combinations of G's and H's, in Judeo-Christian folklore is the angel of the fish, as Hebrew name can be translated as roaring beast of God.
Okay.
Anyway, this is where I get to the part where I'm can't tell how much trivia stuff is contradictory with each other. When working on the first 6 episodes, the staff felt drained by the serious tone, so this and the previous episode were made to be a bit more lighthearted as a change of pace. Apparently, Anno's answer to this was inventing the character of Asuka wholesale without really thinking about her place in the series going forward. And it was mostly just, we just want a girl who's extroverted and funny.
I did... Wait, okay. Okay. I mean, that makes some sense, because she is kind of extraneous to the core ideas of the show. And
then they have to work in stuff to make her fit more.
I think this is to Evangelion's benefit.
I do think this shows better for her being here, but
I think it's to Ava's benefit that there's a character here who is not caught in the weird mess of Shinji and his dad.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because there's a whole bunch of stuff to unpack with, like, Rey, as we find out later, and Misato.
And Asuka can just have wildly different priorities.
She can have her own problems. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stay tuned for when I watch that new short that Anno didn't want you to see.
Until they emailed it out.
Did they?
Yeah, so apparently...
That's so funny.
Apparently what happened is... It was being leaked online because it was part of some fan celebration event thing, and they wanted it to remain like an event exclusive. And then they put out a thing saying, hey, please stop leaking it. And then at some point, they had like an email communication that they like mass spread to some mailing list they had related to the event. And they accidentally, now some people say maybe it might have been intentional because of the leak, and someone was like, well, fuck it, let's just put it out and say it was an accident or something. But they just attached the file or something to an email and put it out. And then apparently after that happened, then they were like, well, let's just put it out now. Apparently that was the course of events. Someone could correct me if I'm wrong.
That reminded me a bit like of when we had a few weeks ago, for some strange reason, high quality, high definition version of the band Ultra 7 episode just on Bilibili for some reason.
Yeah. Sometimes people just got shit. They put it out.
They found some Doctor Who episodes recently. Very, very recently,
nice.
like yesterday or something.
Oh yeah, because like is it like the first couple series of that are still technically like missing some episodes? So
there's some select like serials or like episodes from serials that don't have episodes, and like they might have audio for them, but they don't have the full episodes. They don't have the reels for it. It's mainly, I think it's the First Doctor and Second Doctor. I think the Second Doctor is the big victim of this.
That's unfortunate.
But I don't.
That's the one thing that's like largely kept me from. Well, besides this length, from keep me from like trying Doctor Who. It's just like, damn, it would annoy me to no end that there's just episodes I can't watch.
I mean, I haven't really watched any of the old Who like that. I've seen some Pertwee and some Baker and some of the Fifth Guy. I've seen some Sylvester McCoy. I've seen Revelation of the Daleks, which is the other Baker. But yeah, there's loads of missing stuff in like the black and white era.
One could call it the Epic of Gilgamesh of its time.
Ooh.
No.
I don't know about that.
I don't think
so. Some parts.
Some person on Tumblr circa 2014, we agree!
Replying to a scholar saying like, oh, we've uncovered some new tablets that may have lost pieces of the Epic of Gilgamesh. Me and the replies, oh, time to update the lost media wiki.
Oh my god.
And then, of course, his name is like Ben Steele or something, because it's like, they're super Lock fans.
Yeah. What on earth were we talking about?
We were talking about Evangelion. Apparently, according to Wikipedia, Anno also said he forgot about Rei and Emmy when writing this episode, since he did not feel particularly close to the character and did not include her in any sequence.
Wait, he did? Which character, sorry?
Rei.
Oh, okay. I see.
I don't know to what point in development this was, because obviously, switching around the angels is like, I don't know. I don't know the timeline of introducing Asuka and then swapping around the angels. Also, apparently, Shinji Higuchi, his role, I don't know specifically why, but apparently just based on his credits working on Nadia, he just had like a more of a comedic style to him that was able to translate well into these episodes. Mm-hmm. So his contribution helped.
Cool.
Other than that, there's also the fact that the two captains in this episode are also just their character designs are borrowed from Nadia wholesale. So that's fun.
That makes sense. That is a show with a lot of boats. I haven't watched a ton of that yet, but like,
Yeah. I might just watch that after we finish Evangelion, just because I'm like, I wanted to watch it at some point, but
I've caught episodes on whatever like streaming. There's like some channel on like one of those like things I use that just basically make like fake TV but for streaming.
Yeah.
And I think it's like Retro Crush or something. Sometimes they have Nadia on, and I've caught a few stray episodes here and there, and went like, oh, this is fun.
I have a bone to pick with Retro Crush.
Yeah.
They are the only release I can find for the Three Musketeers anime that I want to fucking watch. It's fucking... They like... It's letterboxed. It's a 4-3 show.
Oh.
I'm livid. Anyway.
Like when they letterboxed like the one Simpsons episode so that like the beer gag was off screen.
Yeah. And that for like a whole anime. Like 50 episodes.
I think that was because they did letterbox the entire show, but yeah. I think for a long time, like one of the Piero Magical Girl shows was the last one that was to be fully subbed. Had like the only complete subs in Retro Crush, and then they took it down because that's how streaming services are. And it's like, well, damn, now we can't watch this whole anime subbed.
Yeah.
Apparently,
in the Three Musketeers anime, Aramis is a girl pretending to be a boy.
How do you feel about that change?
Here's the thing. I'd feel one way about that change if they kept the fact, because one of Aramis's distinctive personality traits is his many affairs with women.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is like I understanding he's the womanizer. So if they just kept him a girl but also womanizer, I'd be like, go for it. But
I don't know that they've done that. I would have to see it, and I'm not going to watch it letterboxed because that's absurd.
Yeah.
Anyway,
apparently, Asuka's voice actress took German classes for this role, but the German she speaks in the episode ended up being technical jargon that her native German-speaking teacher didn't understand. The staff was like, this show's probably not going to be aired outside Japan, so you don't have to actually worry about how good the German is.
That's really funny. On the one hand, they were wrong that it was not going to be aired outside Japan. On the other hand, they were right. They didn't have to worry about making the German good. It's way funnier like this.
Yeah, not mentioned in the summary, but there is a funny gag where she's like her like Evangelion mental interface OS is in German and it doesn't work because Shinji's in there.
Oh yeah, that is a good
She's
thing.
like, okay, he's like, oh fine, just change the language to Japanese.
There's like a weird callback to that, I think, in Xenogears.
Okay.
What?
Because there's a part where the guy gets into the cockpit for the first time, and it says like, oh, like there's like a weird note where the OS is like, oh, this dipshit can't understand the language. We have to like change the language type to like lamb or something.
Oh, I forgot about that. A lot happens in Xenogears, so.
Yeah. Mech OSs are cool.
Yeah. Fly Me to the Moon in this episode was done by a Japanese singer called Aya. That's her, I guess, professional music name. I don't know her full name. And yeah, that's it. The TV was red.
Yeah.
That name seems familiar to me. Okay, I definitely don't recognize any of this. Never mind.
That happens.
Yeah.
Any last words on Evangelion?
Show good. This is a good banger stretch.
Yeah.
I think the next little bit is going to be the Monster of the Week arc, but otherwise, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. All right. Wow. Color timers.
Yeah. Episode 6. I thought that the Unit 1 would have time bleed over from this episode, from the previous episode to this one, and then I'd have to consolidate them. But what actually happens is they reuse the footage of Shinji getting owned and bring him back immediately, so he has no timer at the first start of the episode, which is pretty funny. Meanwhile, Unit 2 requisitioning the gun is 24 seconds, and the 2 units together for the operation is 9 minutes 7 seconds. Episode 7, Unit 1 gets 3 minutes 33 seconds, and Episode 8, Unit 2 gets 7 minutes 46 seconds. Unplugged is 1 minute 57 seconds. The on-screen timer for 1 minute remaining begins 53 seconds in, and then Shinji says 2 seconds later, you have 58 seconds left. And then when Unit 2 plugs itself in, there's 7 seconds left of the battery.
I see.
So I'm keeping them honest. And they're liars.
They are liars. They lied. That's why they call him Hideaki Anno the liar.
That's what they're calling him.
Wow.
He's known for 2 things: liking planes and lying.
That's it. I watched that the Ghibli documentary Kingdom of Dreams and Madness, where it cuts from Miyazaki saying otaku suck into him and Anno playing with a Zero fighter.
That sounds about right.
Which is really funny.
I feel forever glad that it turns out that people come around to Miyazaki being a guy who sucks.
Uh-huh.
Because I feel like there was like way too many examples of like people who were just like Miyazaki was right when he said anime was a mistake. I'm like, come on, shut the fuck up.
There's so many bits in that documentary where it's just hang on, I'm skipping the no, I'm not even going to talk about this doc in the break. I'm just it's fine. There's so many bits in that documentary where I'm watching that going, Miyazaki, please shut. You're just old. You're just an old man. It's fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, that is going to be it for this portion of the podcast. Join us after the break where we will be talking about anything else.
Really, all I did was like I kind of just know life EU5, but also I don't even know what I'd say about it.
It's EU5.
Yeah, I'm just doing the Ottomans campaign because I'm like I'm gonna fucking destroy Christendom. Create the Roman borders or something.
Yeah.
As God intended.
What will this do to the history of slavery?
I'm back.
Hello.
Gerald Horne probably says, "Well, you're reading the book, so you know."
Yeah, the thing in that book where Gerald, because Brad, I'm reading one of the Gerald Horne books that Mel talked about ages ago. In that book, England, Spain, and the Ottoman Empire are are doing 3 kingdoms for the whole world. And as far as I can tell, France is Lubu. Every time Gerald Horne tries to talk about France, it's like discovering an alien species. It's like, now I don't know why France are teaming up with this. France is a Catholic country. France should theoretically be like Spain in this whole situation. It's often not. Unclear.
I think part of it is because Spain is like so intrinsically tied through like it's the so-called Reconquista to its identity as a Catholic nation. And,
yes.
Especially
France
like also ties the Habsburg throne of as well as like we are defenders of the Catholic faith along with the Austrians. And meanwhile, France is like, well, yeah, we're Catholic, but also my two biggest rivals on the continent are also Catholic, so fuck them.
Yeah. France has been in the middle of doing Europe for a very long time. So it's just like every time Gerald Horne relates like this, like a Spaniard, like keeping a diary and just talking about a French person, it's like, if we could capture a Frenchman and study him, perhaps we could understand why they keep like arming our slaves.
Every time you say Gerald Horne, I just get reminded of this guy from Twin Peaks, Jerry Horne.
Okay. That. What if Gerald Horne had these sunglasses though?
It'd be interesting.
It'd be interesting.
It took me way too long to realize the joke because he has a brother Benjamin. This is Ben and Jerry.
Oh,
okay. I see.
I didn't know.
Yeah, I didn't get that until I was rewatching. I was like, wait a minute. Oh.
I think I remember not knowing how I felt about Twin Peaks. I think I thought like, oh yeah, episode 1 is pretty strong, but I wasn't sure how I felt about it. And then we got to episode 3 and they have the weird sandwich eating scene.
Welcome back.
What a show. Welcome back.
We've been talking about Twin Peaks, which we got to via Gerald Horne.
Yeah.
Perfidious
anyway,
Albion.
I'm not talking about Perfidious Albion. I'm not talking about that Gerald Horne book, which I have been reading. It is good. I've been playing video games. Specifically, I've been playing shooters from the 90s.
Yeah, tell me about them.
Well, specifically on Monday, I finished Marathon 1994.
Yeah,
that's a good video game.
Nice.
And I should replay it because I do feel like my experience of playing Marathon was playing it and enjoying it on one of those abandonware like site download thingies or whatever. And then mostly being like, actually, it's a lot better than Halo, and just being a little insufferable prick about it.
Here's the thing. I might be an insufferable prick about Marathon when I'm done with it.
Well, here's the thing.
Let's go.
You're allowed to play Marathon, and you're not allowed to play Halo.
That's true. But like, you know, I've already played Halo. And so I have the experience and the opinion, and so I'm here to say.
Well, because they're both also dealing with a lot. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, because it's been a minute. But like, part of the thing with Marathon is you're finding like AI notes or like terminals, and like the AIs are like behind the scenes yelling at each other while aliens are attacking or something, right?
Yes. So
and I remember that stuff being cool.
Yeah, and there's terminals in Halo, but they're purely optional. And you know, there's a lot of like idea of reuse from Marathon to Halo because like the audiences are so different, and so you can completely get away with it, right? Because one is shooters for Mac, and one is like console shooters for a brand new console.
Yes.
And there's
we're literally defining shooters for consoles.
Yes. And I'm going to tell you, there's some elements in the original Marathon where they're kind of they're defining shooters. And so one of the key idea reuses is one of the things that I'm like, oh, this is cool about Halo is that there are multiple different enemy types, right? And you're like, well, that's not very special. Halo is a game that has like a really solid, like justified reason for why there are multiple different enemy types. Is like, this is not one alien species. This is like a bunch of alien species. This is an empire, and like these are like client species that have been conquered and subsumed into the empire. And that comes straight from Marathon, the 4 Empire, and the plot of the original Marathon involves freeing one of these species, a la which happens in Halo in like the engineers, and then also kind of the elite, but the elite's a little bit interesting. But I mean, I'm getting sidetracked. Marathon 1994 is famously labyrinthine, and very like slightly claustrophobic. I kind of love it. The environments are so... It's interesting. It's got like weird environments for a human spaceship. And you're like, wow, this is like an odd thing to find in the spaceship. But like you can kind of stretch your imagination and be like, this could have a use. I'm in like the weird engineering portion. Who knows what all this lava is for? And then you get onto the alien spaceship, and it's like, what the fuck is going on in here? But the lighting is fantastic. People talk about like Doom having atmosphere. Doom has atmosphere. I want to be clear. Doom is like a perfect video game. Marathon is nowhere near a perfect video game. I think I prefer
which means
Marathon.
that of course, Marathon is the 7 out of 10 you like better.
Yeah, absolutely. I love Marathon's so good. The atmosphere in Marathon is incredible.
Did the version of it you play have like free mouse look?
Yes, this is something Marathon theoretically kind of invented.
Okay. Because I remember playing this game and being used to Doom and just playing Doom like, all keyboard or whatever.
Yeah.
And then playing Marathon and being like, oh, like they have mouse look in this one. But like also in some ways it feels like maybe they don't always know what to do with it.
Uh-huh.
Which is fun.
So
I don't remember it being super vertical.
There is quite a bit of verticality, but they don't have a true... I don't know if they have like a... I don't know if it's like really actually 3D, but they simulate it. Those maps, there's a lot of like corridors overlapping because there are different levels. So like things like just there's so much darkness in Marathon, and like you've got the Halo motion tracker, and so you can see. I say the Halo motion tracker. They got it from Aliens. They got it. It's the Aliens motion tracker, and you can see enemies like moving towards you, and it's completely dark. And then you fire like a gun, and it illuminates the space, and you can see what's coming at you, which is so cool. And then you've got all the story which is happening, which is great. Bungie has had a reputation for a while of like, oh yeah, they make games that have like a main plot, and then there's like batshit stuff happening in the background in like these little lore things that you can find. And in Destiny, they're like, people are like, oh, you should read the Grimoire cards. And people were supposed to take that seriously. Marathon is just, what if all of that source was the main plot of the game that you were interacting with all the time. And so there's just all the game story is communicated through these terminals that you find, which is like AIs talking to you, or like unrelated, like System Shock style, like logs. And it's all really cool. Durandal is like the famous standout guy from Marathon. It's kind of his series. He is the AI that has gone rampant. And
do they call it that back in
yes.
Marathon too? Oh,
yes,
that's great.
they called it that back in Marathon. They define. There's like you can find a terminal that defines rampancy. and says like, oh, there's this stage, that stage, and then this stage, and then they're saying theoretically after going through these stages, an AI should might be able to stabilize, but no one has been willing to test that because you need like a huge network. And then you're sat there playing the game thinking like, the marathon is a huge network, and it seems like maybe Durandal's been rampant for. I think was this an experiment to see how would happen to. There's so much of like the story of the game is reading a terminal and going, wait, whoa, hang on. What do you mean there were 9 Mjolnir Mark IV cyborgs on the planet, but there were 10 smuggled aboard the spaceship? That's interesting. And shit like that. But Durandal's just charming. There is like one level where he starts doing like, oh, you enjoy all the killing, don't you? Where I'm like, okay, man. But otherwise, he's like,
oh, so like a 7th gen video game.
Yeah, but it's interesting. I'm playing when I said I guess I'll stop playing one of the greatest games I've ever played and come join the podcast, I was playing Marathon 2. And Marathon 2 develops on this in a scene where, in like a terminal entry where Durandal is like, I'm teleporting you back to my ship. There are a lot of enemies here. Enjoy yourself. And I'm like, oh, that's like unironic now. He knows what I like, and he's like happy to give it to me. he's like, you enjoy all the killing, don't you? But lovingly. His love language is teleporting shotgun shells into the level.
Are there 2 other AI that are like around? Okay.
So the marathon has 3 AI. Leela is the one that's like most straightforwardly like helpful to you, but she's like
Futurama.
Yeah, she's she's Cortana basically, but she's well, I mean, no, Cortana is maybe more of a character. The point is, Durandal hates her because like he hates the other AI because they're like he's like, Leela is like loyal and good and righteous and just, and it like makes him so mad to like watch her be so helpful to like the, you know, her creators and the because he's like, oh, I'm a slave and I'm breaking free, and which, you know, and then he helps the Sphit, who are a slave species. He helps them break free, and you know, he's got such an affinity for you, the player, who is like a tool, who does not have like free will really.
If you kindly. Yeah,
and he's, you know, Durandal gets a lot of like, oh, he's an evil computer thing. He's so much. His final goodbye, which kind of gets retconned in Marathon 2, in Marathon 1, is like him kind of trying to pass off saying goodbye, I'll miss you, as though he's being like cynical and hateful. But like he's kind of talking around, he's like, the content of what he's saying is like, we're gonna go see the stars, I wish you were coming with us.
Damn.
I loved Durandal's so good. But yeah, there's like a whole sci-fi plot here with like, you know, what the marathon is interesting politically. It's like the marathon itself is a political symbol of Martian oppression, because like Mars sold a moon to Earth to get turned into a spaceship, and so Martians can all look up at the UESC constructing marathon and be like, that's money that could be helping us right now. It's really good. It's a really good video game. this also sucks a lot. This is the fucking people were not kidding about Colony ship for sale cheap. That puzzle is really annoying. Not as annoying as some people like to talk about it, but the most annoying part of it is that I did it, and then the level dropped me into a level full of exploding like civilians, and then I had to go find a save station to save at, because this game does not give you a quick save. You have to go find a save station. I don't know. There's a certain amount of patience required for marathon that I have. I have realized by now, 30 years into my life, I have simply been blessed with a level of patience for an annoying video game. I'm just willing to put up with a lot of shit in a game. So marathon, I'm like, yeah, it's great, and there's a lot in there that I think I'm happy to put up with that I think maybe other people wouldn't be. That's fine.
That's old PC games, or I guess in this case, Mac games.
Yeah, old Mac games. But yeah, it's like the comparison point is Doom, which released a year earlier, and Marathon is theoretically a Doom clone, but it just has an actually really good sci-fi story. I like it. I'm really enjoying Marathon 2 right now. The Marathon 2 shotgun is one of the greatest shotguns I've ever played in a video game. Bungie have always had it. It's a fucking lever action shotgun that you do the fucking John Wayne, well, the Terminator 2, that's the flip
yeah.
cock. Which means you can dual wield the shotgun.
Yeah,
Nice.
That's the good shit.
That shit's good. Anyway,
You are now
gaming.
further than I am. I never played 2 or 3.
Yeah, it's good. Zero music.
Oh.
Wait, what?
Was it? Did it always have that, or?
Yes, It's got a song in that plays when you open the game. This is what I was talking about when I was like, I've been listening to the Marathon 2 fan soundtrack, or like one of them. People make fan soundtracks for Marathon 2 because it didn't have a soundtrack. I'm not playing it with a fan soundtrack. I'm just playing it as is. It's good. But
Is there like a reason that this happened?
It's a deliberate choice. The reason is immersion. The reason is the quoted reason is it's not realistic for there to be music.
Okay.
I'm trying to erase that from my brain and simply be like, what does this do for the atmosphere of the game? So far, I think it's fine. I think it's okay. But it might be better with it. I don't know. But it's a good video game. That one is just called Marathon 2 Durandal, so that's how you know it's good. It's about my boy.
Yeah.
Oh, Tycho is the other AI. Tycho is interesting. Because he kind of develops his own independence by defining himself against Durandal. He's like anime rival for Durandal.
Oh.
Anyway, that's it. I've done other things, but that's my one. I played Marathon. Who's up?
I did explain I don't really have anything because of my.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You've been out of action.
Yeah.
Lack of internet stuff.
Yeah.
Can I talk
Brad.
about God putting me in the device the last 2 weeks?
Uh-huh.
Let me tell you, holy shit.
Yeah.
So I was gone last week. Both ends of my body started hurting for different reasons. I sprained my ankle in my sleep, which is a thing I learned can happen, and apparently happens more often than you would think. I just got twisted up in the bedding bad. That ended up being the least of my concerns. So that caused my ankle to hurt pretty bad for a while there. But like I didn't end up needing any surgery. So I should also clarify, this is like my bad ankle that sometimes I do need a little bit of like special medical attention to. Thankfully did not end up needing physical therapy, also did not end up needing surgery, which were the two like things I was like, oh, okay, I don't want to deal with either of those right now. But no, it's on the mend, and I honestly feels good as new, so that's good. What ended up being more of a problem, to my surprise, was I have some dental stuff going on where I had a cavity that got filled right before I left for Frosties, and I was like, oh, this feels like maybe like it's feeling better slowly, so like I'm just gonna leave it and see how it goes. But like maybe the bite feels a little off, like it's not exactly even. They call it a high filling. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, well, we'll give it some time. We'll see if this is just like, taking a while to feel right. Then one morning I woke up and I was like, something is clearly wrong. So I called and got it fixed up. And then immediately was like, okay, the bite feels normal. But now my mouth is also just like deeply in pain in that same area. And I don't know if that's from, like, them, like, just the residual pain of, like, oh, it was off, and now that it's corrected, like, I'm feeling it all at once. Mm-hmm. And this eventually resulted in me going to the emergency room a second time last night. And they're like, well, the good news is this doesn't seem to be related to your teeth whatsoever. But what probably happened, if I had to guess, so we don't actually know, but this is the emergency room doctor's lady guess, is when they did that filling, like a month back, they think the spot where they injected me with, like, the numbing shit got infected and just ended up causing problems to me for completely unrelated reasons.
Wow.
So now I'm on antibiotics, but hopefully things are looking up. The good thing is that, like, for the past, I would say, like, 3 or 4 days or so, I haven't really been, like, in pain. It's just been mild discomfort. So I'll take that, because let me tell you, there was like a stretch of 3 or 4 days since I've last been on a microphone where I like woke up and I was like crying in my sleep. Like I woke up and my face was wet. I was like, oh, this is weird. This is bad. But yeah, I don't know what curse was inflicted on me. I don't know which magician I pissed off in the world. Actually, also, too, I don't know how much you two explained, but the reason I was gone for the beginning of this podcast was because I had to drive through blizzard weather conditions to go pick up my prescription.
It briefly came up.
Yeah.
Mostly what came up was I was like, I don't know why Brad's insisting on doing the podcast.
Yeah.
I was like, if I was in the ER last night, I'd just be like, I'm lying in.
See, here's the thing. If I was in pain, I would have been like, I'm fucking laying down. But like, I'm good.
Yeah. Okay.
So like, I would rather just be here and do the thing.
Mm-hmm.
But like last week, I was just like, I cannot focus on having a conversation right now. I need to tap out. So yeah, that's why I was gone last time.
Yeah.
I was suffering. Speaking of suffering, so I beat Resident Evil 8 Village.
There you go. The game you don't like.
Yeah, I've made my peace with Resident Evil 8. I think that what this game is attempting to achieve, it's doing fine. I just don't really have any respect for what that is. I did not like Resident Evil 8. All of my complaints from last time around kind of stand. The game is paced really weird, where you have 4 main areas and then the ending. The first area and the fourth area are pretty long. Like, I would say they're about, 3 to 4 hours each. And then in between those, you have a second area, which is, like, no combat, all puzzle solving with, like, big, hard, like, spooky elements. That's about an hour long. And a third area, which is kind like I would call it like a weird, like, heightened chase sequence almost, where, like, you're doing puzzle solving really fast because you're also being chased by, like, a sea monster.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of have to do it under duress. But you're also not really, like, shooting at enemies, really.
Mm.
And then in between all of these segments, you can go into the village and do side quests. It's a really weirdly structured video game. The fourth area, I was kind of bummed by because I think it's the best area in the game. It's like a big factory with multiple levels and layers to it. And all of the enemies are being, like, experimented on to be made into, like, soldiers, basically. And they have, like, different, like, weird things grafted onto them and, like, metal parts. And, like, there's a guy that has, like, a propeller, like, head thing that he's trying to ram into you to, like, cut you up and stuff like that. Unfortunately, this does also mean you get to a mini-boss room where the game does an unironic "they fly now," which made me lose my mind. But it is the one part of the game where I'm like, oh, this game being an action game doesn't feel disappointing to me, because you get enemies with, like, armored parts and enemies with weak points on their back and stuff, and they're actively, like, animating and moving in a way where they're deliberately covering up their weak points. So you kind of need to, like, focus on where you're shooting so that they take damage and, like, kind of wince or, you know, lurch back from it. And then you use that opportunity as they're recuperating to hit their weak points. And I'm like, that's kind of fun. I think that's, like, the one part of this game where enemy design actually stands out as something that I'm enjoying a lot. Which is something that I think, like, Resident Evil 4 does really well all throughout, where you have the different enemy types and you kind of need to approach them differently or use different tools in your arsenal and kind of have some consideration there. I didn't feel that till the second to final area of Resident Evil 8. This game is such dad slop. I'm kind of surprised I haven't heard more about this game in the, like, broader dadification of video game discussions. I'm sure, like, people have and I just missed it. But kind of my one big takeaway is I think that this game has the wrong main character. Every character in this game serving the villain kind of has their own individual backstory that is in relation to her as, like, a mother figure, or in the case of Lady Dimitrescu, and I guess kind of too, like, the other woman of the four. Like, all of the characters in this game are kind of reacting to the matriarchal villainous figure and their relationship to her, and more broadly speaking, kind of exploring different themes of motherhood, or, like, what it means to be a mother, or to have a mother, or to want to have a mother.
Are they exploring 30 million light years?
Yeah, searching all those light years in search of Lady Miranda. Or I guess in the last guy's case too, he's like, oh, I don't want to be mothered. I want to set out on my own, and I'm not allowed, sort of thing. And what I think is really weird is that all of that feels really odd when you're playing as gruff FPS guy who's like, I just want my daughter back. I think this game's story would have been a lot more resonative if you played as Mia, who is a character that was established in the previous Resident Evil game, as, like, you know, Ethan's love interest, and then in this game the you know, mother of the family. But she also kind of has her own, like, dark, sketchy backside of, like, she used to be working for some, like, a fucked up, like, corporation, kind of doing some, like, evil Resident Evil shit. And kind of has a little bit of that tension with her. I think she would have been a much more interesting, like, foil to the villain of this game. And it probably still would have fallen into some of the, like weird shit of like, oh, like now we have a game about like two women fighting over like this baby that I think probably would have still fallen into some weird tropes about, or like expectations and stereotypes about like, oh, women just want to be mothered, like, you know, that sort of shit. But I do think that would have been worth it versus the alternative, which is guy goes into ladies' village and does action movie guy shit, playing, you know, the role of Papa Wolf so that he can get his daughter back from this nefarious woman that took her from him. And also, too, just in this game, I feel like Mia gets the sideline so hard in a way that sucks. And it's just unfortunate. I fucking hate what they do with Chris Redfield in this game so much.
Okay.
He just became Call of Duty man in a way that, like, they were always going this direction with Chris. But, like... It gets to an absurd degree where I'm like, I kind of like the old, and to be fair, maybe this is Leon more than Chris, but like something I like about the Legacy Resident Evil protagonists is that like they're not real people. They are cartoon men doing ridiculous things. And Chris is a guy in this game who is wielding an assault rifle, talking about getting resupplies and saying shit like, this is Chris to Tundra, I need a sit rep on your location over. And I'm like, what are we doing? This is just not the vibe. It's ridiculous. It is really funny that he just shoots your wife at the beginning of the game and refuses to elaborate for the longest time why he did that. It's pretty good. Yeah. But yeah, I don't like Resident Evil 8. I actually think, because I know that there are some people that are generally down on Resident Evil 8. It's a game that reviewed pretty well and seemed to be mostly overall received pretty well. But then there are other people that are like, oh, I think they maybe streamlined this one too much. But even then, I feel like I came away with this game maybe being tied for my least favorite game in the series in a way that I haven't seen many other people also kind of speak to. So I might just be a Resident Evil 8 hater, but I'm fine with that. I do not care for what this game is trying to do. I had some friends say that if I had started this game and played through it on the hardest available difficulty, some of my complaints maybe wouldn't have been as present, but they also do think that there are just a lot of things like structurally about the game I wouldn't have cared for as well. So that is always kind of a bummer, where it's like, well, sometimes you're locked into a difficulty and you don't know if you picked the one that was right to pick for a first playthrough for the experience you want. So that was kind of a bummer. So you may have remembered I played Resident Evil 8 because I wanted to play another video game, Resident Evil 9, recently released. Well, I didn't want to do that when I was in deep pain.
Yes.
Because I don't want my early impressions to be marred by that. So I decided, well, you know, I'm still in a Resident Evil mood. I'm going to replay one that I don't go back to as often as maybe I should, which is Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, the third of the original PlayStation trilogy. Famous for having Nemesis, the guy who chases you around all the time. Resident Evil 3 is a game that I would call good, but I definitely think in comparison to Resident Evil 1 and 2, I don't like it as much. It's definitely going in the same direction Resident Evil 2 did, where like they're definitely going more action oriented the longer that original trilogy of games went on. I think it maybe handles it a little bit less gracefully than Resident Evil 2 does, where Resident Evil 2, in a lot of cases, what it being a little more actiony meant is, oh, we're gonna have boss battles a little bit more often in like a big way, and we're also going to have rooms that are just like crammed full of zombies. Like they kind of scaled it up feeling. Resident Evil 3 does that again, but what it translates to a lot of the times, I feel, is You walk into a room for the first time, or I guess in this case, a city street, because we're no longer just in like one facility. We're kind of like more in a city, going through alleyways and connecting streets to these different buildings. But sometimes what that means is you open up a door to a new street you haven't been to before, and you pick up like 30 handgun bullets. And you then proceed to use those 30 handgun bullets on the very crowded street that you otherwise aren't really going to have a way to get through other than just taking damage because of how many zombies are on screen. In a way that feels almost like they're giving you something to do, or like padding for like interaction. In a way that I don't really feel with Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 2, where I feel like sometimes you just have more choices. Or my other favorite thing is sometimes they give you a crowded street full of zombies with a very obvious explosive barrel to shoot at the right moment. And in some ways it just feels a little fake, the way they decided to escalate and elevate this one. The part of it where I do think it works and is actually really interesting is that this game is probably the most non-linear of the three. There are different parts of this game where you have different areas that you can choose to go to. And depending on which one you choose to go to first, you'll have different story events. Like, different characters will be there from the supporting cast. You may encounter Nemesis in some areas and not others, depending on which area you choose to go to first. Sometimes when you meet Nemesis, you get like a really cool little thing where the game becomes like I almost said character action. What I mean is choose your own adventure, where you get like two options of like, oh, do you hide from the monster? Do you run and chase, fight them head on, that sort of thing. And that kind of changes how you explore those areas, because if you choose to run, well, suddenly you're in a boss fight and you just have to deal with that. If you choose to escape, you're free to go, but then when you go back to that area, like, that threat hasn't gone away. Like, Nemesis is still chasing you down, sort of thing. So it kind of changes how you have to interact with those parts of the map, which is fun. And also, too, there's like a risk-reward element to it, where when you defeat Nemesis, you get increasingly better drops from his body every time you beat him, including you'll get like one half of like a special weapon type. And when you combine them together, like, you get stuff that by default is better than your normal default gear. Like, the first weapon you can complete is a handgun that has a chance to deal a critical hit, and will just like blow up the head of a zombie way earlier than you would kill it normally, which is fun. Because now you're weighing like, oh, do I want to take the risk of beating this really hard enemy when I am at the start of the game and barely have any ammo to go around? So I can get this thing that'll make my life easier later. They also have, this is where they introduced bullet crafting for the first time, where you have these different powders laying around. And you can combine the powders in different ways to make different ammo types. And you also have like a weird soft skill mechanic where Jill will get better as the game progresses at crafting specific types of ammo. And after you reach a certain threshold of crafting specific like handgun ammo or shotgun shells, the game will say, oh, do you want to make an enhanced version of this ammo type? Which is way more powerful and has way more like stunning capability. Like, it'll actually stop the enemy in its tracks and cause them to wince. But the special weapon types that you get from Nemesis don't take the enhanced ammo, which means that your default weapons curve back around to being better than those enhanced weapon types. Which is kind of fun, because it's like, oh, you might think I'm done with this playthrough, I got the cool new thing. Well, then suddenly now you have the cool ammo type that second tier weapon doesn't take. And all of this results in a game where you have just a lot of choices to make, and a lot of complicated factors to keep in mind as you're going around and doing the Resident Evil thing of going from place to place and solving puzzles and trying to figure out, what am I going to need in my inventory? What am I going to leave behind in the item box? There's just suddenly this whole new layer of it, which is really cool. Unfortunately, I do think the reality is that Nemesis just isn't super fun to fight. it feels like a lot of the time what you're actually doing is exploiting his turn radius.
Okay.
In a way that, like
I'm playing Armored Core.
Yeah, actually. And, like, there's even some things where, like... You know, sometimes when you're playing a game and, like, you're doing something that is so gamey that, like, suddenly the atmosphere just kind of goes away a little bit.
Uh-huh.
I kind of have that with Nemesis, where it's, like, you realize early on that you don't actually want to use your shotgun in a lot of Nemesis fights because he doesn't really take any blowback from it. And it takes a longer time for Jill to raise and lower her shotgun than it does her handgun. So a lot of the time, what you actually want to do is just get a shit ton of handgun bullets, take a couple shots, run to the side where he typically won't swing his arm because he has more attack animations with one arm than the other, which becomes obvious after you fight him enough. So you're kind of just taking, like, these pot shots and then racing around to his other side, hoping he doesn't do one of the few offensive animations he can with his weak side, and then taking more pot shots and just kind of circling around and taking advantage of that weird turn radius that he has. Mm-hmm. Or alternatively, the other thing that you're doing is you're running to specific parts of the area where he'll get stuck in a running end, like he'll get stuck in his pathing on a specific part of the map where he's running at you, but he's not, like, curving around the geometry of the level. And that's where you can take out your bigger, like, weapons and start taking some shots, and then eventually he'll get unstuck from the geometry, and then you'll run out and then, like, either fight him normally or you'll set it up so that his pathing gets stuck again. And that does, I feel like, kind of take away a little bit of the intended stress or tension of some of those early Nemesis encounters, of it's like, oh, well, if you want to take the action where you're actually fighting this thing and engaging with it as a boss, it can feel like a little weird, and you're suddenly thinking about moving around your character in a way that I would argue up until that point in the series, you're not really doing for any Resident Evil boss. Like, you're kind of just like, oh, okay, like, I'm gonna try to, like, get out of harm's way when I feel like it's winding up for an attack, but, like, you're not really thinking about turn radius. Or, like, where are my safe zones on this map, right? In a way that I'm just like, this is kind of a bummer. And I was curious, because I was like, am I just, like, too used to video games where I'm overthinking this? And I looked up playthroughs of people just playing the game, and I'm like, no, like, this appears to be the logical conclusion people reach to when they want to start fighting Nemesis is, oh, where can I make the AI fuck up and get stuck in its own patterns? And sometimes in a video game that can be fun, and other times it's like, this feels like I'm cheating. But it also seems like maybe this is the intended thing I'm supposed to be doing in a way that I can never... It's like porn. I know it when I see it. I can't tell you when it's the good version of this and when it's the bad version of this. I do think, unfortunately for me, Nemesis falls into the bad version of this a little bit. I do think overall Nemesis is still cool, but it does become a little bit more, like, mechanical in a way that I think makes some of the threat of Nemesis go away as you kind of explore, like, how am I supposed to actually deal with this guy in terms of the gameplay. But I do think Resident Evil 3 is a cooler game than I give it credit for, just in terms of, like, I think it is the one of these that gives you the most, like Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 2, I think, are games that are very easily solvable. I think Resident Evil 3 gives you a lot of caveats, where it's like, you can go through and use these particular ammo or weapon types, but this is like a risk-reward thing, where there are going to be parts of the game where you're going to struggle more than other parts of the game based off of the choices you are making, which I do think, mechanically speaking, does make it a little bit more interesting than 1 and 2, but I do think that with that more choice-oriented angle means that also, too, maybe some of the polish that I associate with RE2 is sacrificed a little bit, so, you know, what can you do? Interesting game. I think this replay is probably the most positive I've been on it. I mean, I've always liked Resident Evil 3, but I do think that it is maybe a little bit of a rougher game than the first two, because they're at the point in the series where they're trying to play around with stuff and seeing like what can we do to like make this not stale, right? So it's just the natural growing pains of any long running series like this.
Yeah.
Wow. It's cool. I will. This is not the only Resident Evil game I ended up playing in my I'm in pain and don't want to start the new one. I think I'll wait to talk about this one for the interest of time until we're a little bit further in. But my friend Trick and I have historically always have wanted to play through Resident Evil 5 co-op. We have attempted this twice in the past.
Yeah.
Once on stream and once not streamed. Both times we have gotten a little ways in and gone like, not really sure if we're feeling like doing this right now. And then stopped playing. My friend Trick, not wanting to buy Resident Evil 9, went, I think maybe I should play Resident Evil 5. And me, hearing him say this, said, I mean, do you wanna do that co-op? And he said, I wasn't gonna ask because I wasn't sure if you were gonna be up for it, but if you want to do it, I kind of want to do it. So then, we proceeded to go through the process of deleting our Resident Evil 5 saves, which is shockingly hard.
Okay.
Capcom does not want you not playing this game without New Game Plus. It's ridiculous. We had to like disconnect from like Steam and like delete files and rename other files and then play through until we got to the first save point in the game to override the file. It's ridiculously hard to start a fresh Resident Evil 5 save. Just a weird thing that I'm not sure. I just wish the game had a delete your old save option. I don't know why that's so hard. But yeah, we started that back up. We also, through doing that and trying to get rid of our old saves, we did have the bizarre realization that the last time we attempted to play this video game together, Obama was the president.
Okay.
It's been
That's
that
a long
long.
time ago.
It's very long. Actually, funny enough, I think we were 4 days off from the 10-year anniversary of us attempting to play Resident Evil 5 co-op.
Okay. That's pretty funny.
Third time's the charm. We're gonna do it this time. And I'll report back on they're calling it the most racist video game of all time.
The most racist video game.
It's bad.
How old was I when Resident Evil 5 came? What year did Resident Evil 5 come out?
I believe it's 2009.
2009. Okay.
Or
so I was like... No. Yes? I was like 14 or something.
Yeah, March 5th, 2009 is when this game came out.
Okay. So I was like 14. And basically everyone I knew, like at school, at that age, was like, I don't know about this one, guys.
Yeah.
That seems kind of...
I definitely remember at the time people being like, "This, ooh." We did play long enough.
I'll go for it.
We played long enough to get to the cutscene I will always remember, which is scared white woman running out of a room, going, "Somebody help me!" and then being dragged back inside by zombies, and it's like, ooh, that's bad.
That is bad.
Yeah, I will report back on RE5 as we get more than the first chapter in. But to cap it all off, I did start Resident Evil 9.
Okay.
I'm only a few hours in, so I don't have too much to say. I'm liking it a lot so far. I've really taken to Grace, the one of our two protagonists, the other being,
Leon.
returning action game man Leon.
Mr. Kennedy.
I didn't. So here's the thing. This game showed up at like every possible like video game announcement thing for like the past year or so, and I felt like they were showing me the same trailer every time. Which I think kind of numbed me to like any knowledge of this game. I did not realize, at least for now, the antagonist of this game appears to be the Riddler.
Oh.
He's like a weird freaky mask guy going around, and like in the early parts of the game, like he kidnaps Grace and just is walking out on the street with her over his shoulder, and other people on the street are like, what the fuck is going on, at seeing that, and he just pulls out like a injector gun and starts shooting zombie virus into people on the street for Leon to deal with as he chases after him. Like a supervillain from a comic. It's hilarious. So I have not really played enough of the remake trilogy that has been done. I've played a bit of the 2 remake and liked it a fair bit. But from what I gather, Leon in this game is kind of playing the same way, or is like an evolution of the combat system that was featured in the remake of Resident Evil 4. Which I know people feel some sort of way about. That, from what I gather from my Action Game Sicko friends, there are people that either like what they did with Resident Evil 4 Remake a lot in terms of the combat, and other people that really fucking hate it. And from what I gather, that same division applies to 9's combat. What I've played of it so far, I'm like, oh, this is sick. Like, they gave Leon a hatchet, so, like, you're doing shit where you're kind of, like, shooting zombies in the head, and then, like, suddenly tossing your hatchet at one off in the distance before it can close in, and just, like, eliminating the problem before it can come to you. You can pick up the chainsaws after the chainsaw wielding enemy drops it, and just use it yourself to just mow down zombie after zombie, which is really fun. And all that stuff is cool. Grace is, I would say, the evolution of what they were doing with Resident Evil 7.
Okay.
And I think is maybe the most grounded feeling vocal performance we have ever had for a Resident Evil main character, where she is just freaking the fuck out. And I actually think she's, like, the actress is doing an incredible job selling Grace as, like, normal person who is suddenly neck deep in bullshit, just trying to get by. The voice actor really sells, like, the fear and just the, like, I don't want to put up with this horse shit of, like, having to go through a Resident Evil area. The first puzzle I had in Resident Evil 9, I think, was more interesting than any puzzle solving I had to do in Resident Evil 8, where you're in an area where a creepy giant, like a giant creepy woman with claws is like skulking about in the darkness, like looking for you. And to solve a puzzle, you need to get, I think it's like a battery or like a key or something that's on like a high shelf. And the only way to get up to that shelf is you have to push this hospital cart that has a bunch of like dangly like things that can fall off of it to the shelf. And if you either push the cart too fast or you bump into anything, things will fall off of the cart and crash on the ground and make noise, which will make the enemy scream and rush over to your location. And it's awesome. I loved it. It's so tense. And then I think where this game really won me over is there's a part where you've solved the puzzle and you just need to get to the end of the area so you can open a door. But every time you go over to that end of the area, the enemy pursuing you spawns in that hallway, because there's like a hole in the ceiling that she'll drop down through and start chasing after you. But this part of the map has like a loop. So you think, oh, well, I'm going to do the video game thing where I get it to start chasing after me, and then it's going to go around in this loop. And because it's chasing after me, I'll just be able to go to the end of it and, like, it'll be behind me the whole time. So I start doing this. What I did not anticipate is that the enemy, if you don't goad it to basically be on your ass the whole time, is programmed to cut you off on the pass as you make the loop. And I'm like, that's a good scare.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, they're thinking about this, of like, you have to like really wrangle these, like, if you want to like do that, you have to kind of put yourself in harm's way and get way closer than comfort to the enemies, so that like they're actually chasing you and they're right like breathing down your neck basically while you make your exit. And it just seems really well considered and designed. I'm curious how they managed to like synthesize these two very different feeling characters together gameplay wise, because what it kind of feels like so far is that you're playing through Grace's segments and you're feeling like scared and like freaking out over the horror stuff, and then Leon is like your 10 to 20 minutes of action game catharsis of like you're going through and you're just dealing with problems and getting cheesy one-liners. And so far the first few hours, I feel like that's really worked well, and it's been paced really well. I'm curious how, for a whole game length that I believe is like, 7 to 10 hours long, I'm curious how they managed to keep that balance the whole way through, if they succeed in doing that. But so far, I'm enjoying it. I'm having a very good time with Resident Evil 9.
Nice.
Sick. Wow. Is that everything?
That's everything.
Yes.
In which case, do we have any emails besides that one email we got last week that we didn't read?
I don't think so. Where is the email?
I did read that email. Mel also read that email. Did you want to like sum it up?
Yeah, basically he's like, heavy to just read out loud on the podcast. Basically it's just like happening to be, because they live in a red state in the US, they're like, having to weigh the just for safety reasons, like pausing transitioning and then getting to the part of Ace where they kick the woman out of the show and being like, well, this sucks, this feels awful.
Oof. Yeah, that's rough.
And just like, adding to their own personal distaste for Ace beyond what we had, just in a very personal way, which is very valid because it sucks.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear you're going through that. They do have a funny note. It's like, I hope Ace's legacy is perpetually apologizing to Miss Goshi.
That's right. That
should
is
be.
right. When I'm right, when the thing where she was describing how much it sucked, and the actor for Hokuto is like, man, I didn't even realize. Now, I don't want to judge that man too hard, maybe, but come on, man.
Yeah,
You can't say that.
I didn't realize going from second billing to basically not in the show would have sucked like that. I'm sorry.
yeah.
I just didn't know all that shit was going on behind the scenes. Shut up.
Yeah. Also, for context, is Zen Parker, aka Ultra Queer, just as we get.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
They
for
go
your
on
email.
to they
Oh,
go on
go
to say
for
some
it.
other stuff about Evangelion, where apparently there's an anecdote of Anno saying that when he was a kid, he noticed in one of the earlier Ultraman extremely has a garbage mask era of episodes, where he can help but notice a bit of Bin Furia's face behind the mask, and from then on he is kind of like can't help but do like human kaiju hybrids in all his kaiju work.
Oh, I see. That's cool.
Yeah. Spoilers for the future of Evangelion.
Yeah.
And then they had a PS. Yeah, they just wanted to know that, like, in regards to, like, Anno's drafts being initially female protagonists, because that's most of the works he'd done, like Gunbuster, Nadia, and then this shift by Sadamoto to make it a guy now, does add to some of the given how the premise of the show was written, it does add to a lot of the trans resonance or transcodedness for Shinji for a lot of people. So that's neat note. They also tease this won't be the last time Sadamoto indirectly affects the queer history of Evangelion, but I'll save that for later. Look, that'll be fun.
I'm gonna tell you, the first thing I thought of is the panel where Asuka calls Shinji a maggot and people have edited it. That was the first thing I thought of when it came to mind. Anyway.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about like reading through the manga again.
Yeah. I'd like to do that at some point, but obviously I want some distance from when I watch the show.
Mm-hmm.
I might try to do that and follow along via manga form. That might be fun.
I think Red, you also had that idea.
I didn't so much had that idea as much as I was like, this. I feel like everything right now is pushing me to reading that manga finally.
Yeah.
So I might do it, but also, my brain.
Yeah.
The thing for me with that manga is I remember liking it quite a bit, but also too, like, because of the release history of it, I feel like it's very fragmentary and like piecemeal in my head. And I think it'd be interesting now that it's all like done to just read it through as like one thing and how it reads that way. And I think it'd be interesting to do, just because I've only ever read it the one time, and that was over many years.
Finished in 2013.
Yeah, which is absurd. That's like almost 20 years.
When was Rebuild 3 again? Because I remember
2012.
Yeah, because I remember the wait between 2 and 3 feeling so long.
It was a long one.
And I think the wait between 3 and 4 ended up being longer.
Yeah, it is a strange coincidence that like I happened to watch the show in the first place in the year 3 came out.
Brad, I'm looking at the years. That is the biggest understatement ever.
Okay, wait, can I guess?
Yeah, guess.
Okay, so Rebuild 2 was 2011, I think, right?
No.
Fuck. 2000. Wait, what was Rebuild 2? 2010?
So Rebuild. Are you talking about Rebuild 3?
No. Well, let me start with Rebuild 2 to Rebuild 3. Then I'll guess Rebuild 3 to Rebuild 4. So
Rebuild 2 is 2009.
Okay. Rebuild 3 was 2012. Then we said.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
That's like not even a gap, really, when you think about it. Like I got the impression that people were waiting a long time for 3.
Yeah.
But
So this is thing. People talking about waiting a long time for Rebuild 3.
Was Rebuild 4 2020? Was it 2020?
2021.
Yeah. No, that because here's the thing. I think I said before, I get into Ava in the gap between Ava, like Rebuild 2 and, or no, was it? I think it was between 1 and 2, maybe. Yeah, so it was between 1 and 2, because I remember when 2 was like relatively new. And then I remember 3 taking a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it would have been between Rebuild 1 and 2.
The concept of Jo Hakyu, which roughly corresponds to beginning, middle, and end, originated in classic Gakaki music. I'm like, thank you.
Are you, Mel? Are you calling it at end of Ava? Or are you also gonna do the rebuilds as part of this?
I had no plan on doing the rebuilds, at least at this juncture. The main thing is I'm like, I don't even know where I'm going to do end of Eva. I'm not sure where I'm going to insert it, just because it doesn't line up episode-wise with this season, so I have to figure something else out.
If only there was a Ultraman Kids movie.
Well, unfortunately, there was one, and it was the episode needed to like balance out the thing. Was like,
what if Ultraman Kids had its own Be Invoked?
That'd be good.
Gutson loses his head.
No, poor Gutson.
Like,
his head is perfectly round like that.
Pico on the bridge holding up the muffins. We are searching for Mother.
I was gonna say Pico with the shattered helmet laying in the grass.
Oh my god.
So stupid. I love that their spacesuits, by the way. I was gone for when we talked about this. I like how their spacesuits are just helmets.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think just like Hayata. Just like Hayata.
Yeah. I was gonna say we had that definitely in one of these shows. We're like, that is not how space works. You can't just put your head in a fishbowl.
Yeah, I put my head in the fishbowl and also walk outside while leaving the door open.
Yeah, leave the door open in my spaceship, and then I close the door and then take off the helmet, and I'm fine. The 60s.
We didn't know shit. We did not know shit.
I mean, we went to the moon. Let me be clear.
Who can sit? No, I'm joking.
Many people were in space. More I'm going to tell you, in the 60s, more people were in space than ever.
Well, you know, the drugs going around at the time. That's not that hard to believe.
Okay, that is a fucking podcast. If you want to follow us online, you can do so on Blue Sky at Ultra_. No, on Blue Sky at Ultra QUEUE. No underscores on Blue Sky. We're also still on Twitter at Ultra_QUEUE. I'm on Blue Sky. I'm Red November. Mel, your plugs.
You can send an email at to ultraqpod@gmail.com. We have the Coffee UltraQ Fund. Also, that Fate When Archive episode is out now, so you can listen to it.
Nice.
I think it turned out well.
Very nice.
Also, I'll wait until after. I'll wait till Brad's plugs are done.
Brad.
Yeah, you can find me at Be Invoked. That's BE_INVOKE. Well, actually, no, never mind. It's just Be Invoked, all one word, on Blue Sky. And yeah, I'll be here next week unless God decides to send a meteorite into my fucking house, I guess.
Yeah. What killed Brad? The Ice Age.
You can't, literally, I'm watching a blizzard outside my window. You can't say that.
Anyway.
Yeah, you were saying.
In 3 weeks, we have the next Golden Kamuy. Next Detour Quarry coming. We finished Golden Kamuy.
Just 3 weeks away.
Since it's Brad's idea, he can tell us what it is, because I figure it's approaching fast enough we should mention it, but also we didn't want to mention it last week when you weren't here.
What the hell are we doing?
That's right. Sanity, no, I'm joking.
Kill me.
Everyone's favorite machinima show. No.
It's the power of religion.
That's right. We're gonna start the Channel Awesome season of
No.
I got to boldly flee out of this
Blue.
podcast.
We're watching Red versus Blue from the beginning.
we can't do that because Halo's a thing.
That's yeah.
Anyway, Brad.
Maybe.
Yeah, so we're going to the dog park. We are going to be watching the 3 movies that make up the Kerberos trilogy of Mamoru Oshii fame, starting with The Red Spectacles.
Yeah. I've never seen this.
Me neither.
This is one of my favorite movies, and I cannot wait to see
Sick.
how
Have
you
you
two
seen
react
the
to
other
it.
2 as well? Have you seen the other 2 as well?
Yes.
Just for context?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Yeah. It's gonna be
Should I lay out all 3 in order if people would like to acquire them? So, we are going to be watching The Red Spectacles. We will then be following that up with the next movie, Stray Dog, Kerberos Panzer Cops.
Yeah.
And then the third one, which is probably the most well-known, I would say to the average person listening to this, Jinro, the Wolf Brigade. for you two, I am going to leave you in the dark for how these films are related. I think it'd be more fun to discover as we go along.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the order we're watching them in. That is also the order they were made in. So,
are you going to do the production history so I don't have to?
Yes, I will have stuff on the production. So here's the thing. I actually don't know how much production-wise they are going to have. I might actually be weirdly well-equipped to... So, I was one of the few Americans who put way too much money towards a Japanese crowdfunding effort for a 4K restoration of this movie to be made. I have Oshi's autograph as a result.
Okay.
And there was a few books and stuff that came with that I'm going to be honest, I've never looked through. Now might be the time to do some digging on all that. See if there's
normally I wouldn't
there.
dodge our responsibility, but I also figured that you were just more equipped to talk about Oshi than I am. So I may as well let you do it.
Yeah, I honestly think weirdly what I might have more to talk about is going to be in the realm of historical context. So,
that is also that's also useful.
Yeah.
Also, of course, there's Detour Cord, which means that the 3 movies will be spread out across like several months. So
do we know for sure when those months are? Just to
I know roughly, but also we're always like changing the schedule as needed. Like Express Spectacles is like the start of next month, April. Stray Dog is currently set to like around June, and then Jinro is around August. But
all right,
we can tweak it as we go, as needed.
Perfect.
All right, fantastic. That is the podcast, everybody. We will see you next week for 3 more episodes of Ultraman Kids, and the other 2 hours of podcast.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Later.
Don't stop recording.
Alright, the clap.
This is the voice of Brad, token American on the Commonwealth podcast Ultra Q. Red, it is with deep regret that I must inform you I stopped recording the moment I said goodbye. Mazinga Z.